streaming, so be careful of what you say.
And that was the second time I got
You know
crabs.
what race I really hate?
Yeah, it just came up.
I think you might want to put your beer on that side.
I think you're right, dude. Oh, son of a bitch.
So we got to be careful about tapping
Yeah.
this side, Tybo.
Are we, we're live.
We are live.
Yes, sir.
All right, we are live, and welcome back to the
We got 5 on it.
Okay,
I love that.
A little bit of work, but
Love that.
we have a guest.
I've been waiting weeks to do that, gentlemen.
This is episode 7, and the first time that we have a guest, it is my dad, also known as Uncle Bob.
Welcome.
We're happy to have you.
Right
man.
on, guys.
I can't wait.
Welcome to the podcast.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Okay, so just a reminder that we are on Apple Podcasts. There are some changes going on with Apple Podcasts. I'm still reading up on it, so I will let you guys know that next week. They're changing some like searchability stuff. It will actually be good for us. Basically, what they're going to do, one of the big things is they're going to transcribe all our audio, and that's how people are going to find us. So if we do top 5 hated athletes, but we talk about Tim Duncan, people searching Tim Duncan could theoretically still find us.
Oh, that's
Really?
awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
So they got some good things that are going to help podcasters a little bit more. So that's good.
Yeah, that's dope.
But anyways, we are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, as always live on YouTube every Tuesday night from our local neighborhood bar. And our last month's challenge has officially ended. Round of applause for both Uncle Bob and Cam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Cheers.
sir.
Much
Yeah,
deserved.
pussies out
Much
there.
The last two
deserved.
standing.
Real men.
The only Spartans
2
left.
men standing. I just hate running like they do.
I give him a lot of credit,
I'd
man.
rather not drink than run.
I could not do it. You guys did not drink for the whole month. Did you notice any changes?
My life was boring. It didn't really set in until like the last weekend when it sucked. And that
Yeah.
was when I was really over it.
That last Friday was tough.
Yeah, I think it was. I don't know if it was Friday, if it was Saturday, but one of those days it was just real shit.
Yeah.
And I was not having it, and I was just all done with it. Actually, the last podcast, which was a good podcast, I really wanted to drink.
So my question to
wanted
the
to.
two of you would be, obviously, when you can see the finish line, that's when it gets the most difficult.
Yeah, I think so, maybe.
So, with that being said, you must have been very excited to finish it off. How did you spend your first day drinking?
I drank it all. I drank all the alcohols.
I started very, very early on the golf course.
That a boy.
There's no better place.
And I think I didn't have room for a golf club.
Yeah,
I was two-fisting for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I went for it.
Yeah, it was fun.
I did it all.
I love
Friday afternoons was the very, very toughest for me. I don't know. There's something in my body clock. About 3 o'clock on a Friday, it's my
time to-
happy hour clock
Yeah,
or
it's time-
something.
it's
just
time to
like,
go.
I gotta drink.
it. Yeah.
And there's more of the social part of it. It's not,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what it is too.
That's
It's
that's
just
why I
more
quit.
fun to have a beer.
Yeah.
Even if you're not getting drunk or anything like that, it's just more fun to sit down and have a beer.
Well,
Yeah.
how many times at stadium did I order an empty slugger? Give me an
Yeah.
empty slugger, and I put a
Yeah.
little bit of iced tea in it, just so I can
Yeah.
sit at the bat bar
You can
and
feel the feeling.
feel like I'm doing what I normally do.
Yeah.
Which, in all honesty, wasn't all that tough, so it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
So that's good.
You just get through it. You know,
Made it.
You just,
We made it.
You just fight through it. And
My bad.
No, it's
We
okay.
made it. We made it.
That just means I'm doing it because I want to, not because I have to.
I think we have.
right.
I think because we have the added mic, it's a little bit more sensitive. There's more on it, so just try not to.
Oh,
Hey,
sorry. That's
anything.
probably me
No,
because
you're good.
I'm really
And move your-
nervous and excited
Just
about
move your
being
mic a little bit further away from you.
here. Okay.
Just
here we
trust the equipment. Talk normal. That's
right.
probably
There you go.
perfect.
That
right
sounds
there.
great.
You don't have to get close.
go. Cool.
Okay.
Hey, can I stop and just say a thank you to all you for inviting me here?
Absolutely.
I feel quite
Thank
honored
you.
to be the very first.
I appreciate the thank
the
you, but
very, very first guest.
let's be transparent. You were the guy really behind this idea.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
if anything, thank you for really getting us to actually go for
Get
it
off our asses
and
and do
just,
something.
just do it. So,
Yeah.
thank
That's
you.
cool, but the only reason I did that is because you guys are so talented.
Many drunken nights.
Well,
Many
you're obviously
drunken nights.
well read, you're well versed.
We got him fooled.
But the thing I really
Right.
want to say is you guys communicate so well. It's obvious after listening to all your podcasts that you guys come from 3 different angles. That's for damn sure.
Oh, yeah.
You got 3 different upbringings. You got 3 different, but you're very passionate about where you're at and what you're saying. But the way that you guys communicate together, kudos to you guys, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank
you know,
you.
Thank you.
Thank
it's and that's a lost art, and that's part of what we're going to talk about tonight, I'm sure. But man, people just can't communicate and listen. You know, I guess respectfully, and you do that. And that's what I truly enjoy, is listening to smart people talk and communicate.
Cool.
And you know,
Thank you.
I think the subjects that you guys have pulled out there are just awesome, and yeah, it's cool, man.
I appreciate that.
That's really
Thank
really
you.
cool.
That really does mean a lot.
I'm you know, I gotta say I'm nervous because, as you guys know, I don't like microphones. I definitely don't like cameras. But you know what? I brought 2 cents with me,
There
and
you go. That's
I
all
wish
you need.
I was more prepared.
That's all you need to come here.
But I do ask just one thing at the table: just respect your elders here, because I'm probably gonna have to take multiple pee breaks.
Second
So-
oldest.
So
Am I an elder? I didn't realize.
Second oldest.
We will respect our elders, but also everything is on the line on the podcast. You can't take it personal. It's just we're just hashing out ideas.
yeah, this is
Busting
really
balls.
a format. This is really a format where I got no respect as a dad, and he's gonna crucify me. I love it. All fair games.
I love it.
All
I
you
love
guys.
It.
In
I
search of the truth.
Yeah,
I
that's
love the
right.
3 of you like my son, so have at
Love
me.
you too, Bob.
Have at me.
I
We're
love you
happy
too,
to have
Bob.
you. I'm glad we.
Yeah, thanks for the invite.
Yeah.
And that is true. I mean, we had a lot of conversations around the bar, and he's like, "Man, you guys got to record this," and that's basically how this whole thing started. So
Yep.
without
It really
UB, we
is.
probably wouldn't be here. So it's fitting that he's our first guest.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's all cool.
I think tonight's topic
First of many.
is going to be right in the wheelhouse. I think it's going to be real good. This is probably the one I've been most excited for.
Yes.
Real quick, should we talk about our month's challenge now? What it is now?
I might as well knock it out. Yeah. Yeah.
So Cam and I are going to do 4 yoga classes a week.
Yes.
A week. How's that been going for you?
To be honest, I've only done one this week.
Yeah.
I just had some other things going. I did one.
You definitely have some things going.
Yeah, I'm building some things. I'm doing some woodworking, which
That's why you
is
need a table saw.
which is a lot of fun. But I'll knock them all out. So I owe 16, right? I owe 16 for the month. If I have to do 16 in a row, I have to do 16 in a row. But I'll get them done. I
was-
really enjoy yoga. The problem is I'm terrible at it.
I was under the impression, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I thought that you building things was part of the challenge, or was that
No,
just something you wanted to do?
No,
wanted
it
to
kind of
do.
kicked me in the ass to get it done. Stuff that I've been wanting to do, like that I really enjoy doing.
What are you
Yeah.
making, a yoga bar or something?
Now I'm making a yoga bar.
Nice.
No.
Is this hot
No,
yoga
I'm
you
just
guys
doing
are?
just doing some small
entertaining?
woodworking stuff.
If
Yeah.
I'm doing yoga, I guarantee you it's not hot. It's ugly.
No,
I'm
it's,
doing yoga. I'm getting hot. That's
No,
the answer.
it is
Yoga's
it's a
hard.
It's a hard thing, man, and I'm not flexible, and it's hard for me. I can
Yeah.
go out and run, I can go out and do a lot of things,
Yeah.
but it's really hard. But I'm excited to do it. How many have you done?
I've done 3.
Where
You
do you
did
go
3?
for yoga?
I just do
YouTube.
it off YouTube and then move some shit in my living room,
Yeah.
and there you go. It's my own yoga
Yeah, I have
studio.
a-
Turn your heater up and go.
No, you don't have to do hot yoga.
No, I just do it regular. I got the fan on with the AC
But-
bumping, man. I'm sweating like a dog after like 4 minutes into that thing.
I was this morning. I did like a neck and shoulder and upper back one, and I was like,
Send me that one because that sounds good.
I'm not sure I can do yoga.
So are you guys trying to
you
get
gotta,
like?
you gotta look at the videos.
Huh?
You'll do yoga.
Are you guys trying
No,
to get
I
like?
tried it. I had that beach body thing. And,
Y'all trying to get like a little more flexible just for
I think
you know?
it's just a challenge.
Or are you trying to go like full? What was that guy's name? Marilyn Manson, where you could suck your
Oh
own
no,
cock.
I can't do that.
You don't want to do that.
I
I've
mean, I
known-
can touch
What'd
my
you just say?
toes.
That'd be a great goal, though. If you
I-
can be flexible enough to suck your own dick, like
I would.
He removed
I'm
his
not saying you
bottom
have
2
to
ribs.
do it. I'm
Didn't
not
he?
saying you have to.
I
do
wouldn't be
it,
on
but-
Grinder anymore.
True.
Didn't he remove his bottom 2 ribs to make that happen?
I don't know if that's actually true, but it's a great like myth,
Well, either way, I'm
or
not,
not
gonna be,
myth, but urban legend, I guess I should.
I think
say.
I'm gonna need to grow a few inches
quite the
and
goal,
get a
like,
lot
right
more
there.
flexible. So it's not gonna happen for me.
Just saying, you don't have to do it, but if you had the ability to do it, I mean,
Well, that's the question.
wouldn't
Would
hurt.
you?
a dog bogey can.
would I? No.
Okay, that's another day.
Yeah, we'll save that one.
All
right.
All right, and
So, Tybo, what are you doing?
Tybo gave up Instagram.
No Instagram for the month.
How's it going? You deleted it.
Well, all
Deleted it?
social media, correct?
he was.
No.
Oh,
No.
I thought it was all
Caveat.
social media.
No, I'm not giving up Twitter for my firstborn child.
Shit.
R.I.P.
close.
You would.
Well, my first. I was being
I'm
facetious,
just kidding.
but yeah. But no, Twitter is the way I get my news. That's the way I, especially with sports. I love sports so much, and even I follow AP, CNN, Fox News.
So now we know.
That's where I
your
get-
ultimate give up. going to be like giving up booze for me?
Next week or next month is giving up dip, which is pretty difficult.
Yeah.
That's gonna.
I've already seen you do it for 6 months.
You can do it, man.
Oh no, I can do it. I've done it, like Cameron
you've done
said,
it.
but it's still gonna be difficult. It's gonna
Yeah.
be hard.
Okay, I'm not doing yoga, and
I was going to ask you how your yoga classes
I don't.
are going.
I don't dip.
What did you do this month? Did
So
you
what are you
pick
gonna do
something?
this
Well, I
month?
haven't started. I thought we were waiting. We were going to kick it off tonight. Maybe
I got one for you. Why
I'm
don't you?
slacking. How many days do you guys doing yoga?
30 days,
No.
essentially.
Oh, 16.
How many days a
16
week?
classes.
4 hours a week.
But you can do 16 in a row if you want.
All right. So how long is your
1
yoga
hour.
class?
1
So
hour.
4 days
An
a week.
hour. 4 hours a week. You
Okay.
should just clean your garage. That'd be a good one for you.
It's awfully personal, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know
Well-
what your garage looks like, but if it's that a monthly challenge,
It's
gotta-
almost like I'd rather not drink for 30 days.
Do you have a table?
It's a mess. All right,
you
that's a
fi-
great challenge. I'll
Yeah.
take that.
All right, cool.
All right, good. That's a
Take
good one.
that. Sorry,
Do you have a table saw buried in there, hopefully, when you get there?
I can get
I'm
you
just
one.
kidding. Okay, let's go
All right,
into
let's
our.
get into it. Okay,
yeah.
so our topic tonight
I got
is
a buddy out by Menifee ahead.
our topic tonight is top 5 things we would change about America.
Okay, so let me just say,
Great
I thought it
again.
was change or do, 2 or 4. Does that change anything or no?
I don't think so.
no, I don't think that would change
Because
mine.
I mean I'm just saying some of mine wouldn't necessarily be.
For
Well, they would be a change. That's not true. They would be a change.
Are you
More like
saying
if
they-
you were president, what would you do?
You know what I'm saying? Like a change or do for the country.
So are you trying to say it's not like for the betterment? Of
No, I'm
America?
saying that. So changing something means that there would have to be something in place right now that needs to change.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
Yep.
Versus just something that I would do this.
no,
No,
fresh
no.
ideas.
Yeah. No, I think we're all on the same page on that. Like
Yeah.
just
Either one works.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it could
Yeah,
be totally
gotcha.
fresh, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it can be
Okay.
anything. All right, cool. So,
Hit and lead off.
my list. Yeah,
Ribo Craig.
number 1. Hopefully I get on. My list is brought to you by Party City. You can get all the balloons you want, red or blue, whatever you want.
Okay.
Party City. It'll make sense when I
Pink
get
or
to number 1.
pink or blue works too.
All right, number 5. I would make everything legal.
As everything.
It's a little bit of a clickbait type.
That
thing.
is
Well, we could talk about
Okay,
it.
well you can't make murder legal.
Okay, so I guess I'll explain now. I would make everything legal unless you're hurting yourself or someone else. That's what's illegal. So murder would not be legal.
You said yourself though
This
too.
will be interesting. This will be fun.
Okay, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah,
I'm gonna let
yeah.
you go ahead.
That's a good one. That's
we'll
a good
dive. We'll dive
teaser.
into that because you
Nice
said
teaser.
yourself or anyone else, right?
Correct.
Okay. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
that's-
Go ahead. Go to your.
okay.
Yeah, we'll jump back
I
into
understand
that.
there's some gray areas.
I got you.
Define
I
hurt.
got you.
Number 4.
I got you.
Number 4, K through 12 reform. I think it's absolutely ridiculous that a government-provided service where kids spend 13 years of their life in, and then they're not ready for the real world. That's absolutely ridiculous. If you want your free college, your free education, there it is. We just need to make that better. And we
Okay.
can talk about how we do that. Number 3, tax reform. My 2 big things there is I would do a flat tax, and also I would get rid of nonprofits and also churches not paying tax. Those are money-making machines that need to pay tax.
fuck Scientology. Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, there's mega churches with mega pastors that are making mega bucks that don't pay anything
Fuck them
in
all.
taxes.
Joel Osteen, go fuck yourself.
I'm not saying what they do is wrong or
I will.
right.
I will.
I know
Yeah.
in your mind, I'm not going to argue that. I'm just saying if you're a money-making machine in this country, which I believe to be the best country on the planet, you need to pay for being
your dues.
in the best country on the planet, no matter who you are. But also at a flat tax. That incentivizes everyone to still make money. We're not socialists, but you do need to pay. You need to pay your fair share to live in the greatest country on the planet.
Okay.
Number 2, I would eliminate all forms of handouts, including pensions, public pensions.
Oh.
If a private company wants to provide a retirement program, that's their doing. But we do not need to be paying Caltrans. We do not need to be paying police officers. We do not need to be paying teachers retirements.
Ouch.
I don't care who it is.
Okay.
Number 1, I would eliminate the 2-party system. It's only there to create more division, create more money, create more publicity. It's all a bunch of bullshit. We need to have a no party system and we elect the best
God, this is gonna
Man.
be such a good podcast.
and or woman,
I got a pee already.
the best man or woman for the job. I think too many times people will not vote on the other side of the aisle just because of who they're registered with.
Yep.
And I think that's absolute bullshit.
Agree.
Agreed.
I think
That is
if
my top.
everybody gets involved with this, I think we should all just go through our list and then jump back in because
Yeah,
this
I
is
could-
already getting to the point where
I think there's some overlap. Too,
yeah,
so it could be
there's
really
overlap
good.
for sure.
For
But-
sure.
Be really
okay,
good.
so I'll go. We're gonna let Bob go last. I'm gonna go next.
Uncle Bob.
We're gonna go.
Sponsor.
This is brought to you by. Just lost his name. Give me 1 second. James Damore.
Is that a black guy?
James Damore works for Google. Used to work for Google.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah. My number 5
Good
is
pick.
going to be make all the current Mexicans in America legal. Right? So they're paying the flat tax that Ribo's going for. But after that, I'm all done. I'm closing the borders. Other than crazy extenuating circumstances, that's it. We're maxed out. We're at the top of the bar. Okay.
Is everyone from Honduras fucked?
That was going to be my
in,
question.
in Honduras right now?
No, the Hondurans that are in America.
Okay, well,
Is it only
I'm going to say, okay,
Is it-
so
is it
anybody
just all
who's
brown people?
anybody who's
I-
here on a, you know,
I know what you meant.
I'm
just
going
fucking-
for the majority of the
I'm just
illegals
messing
we
with
have
you.
here right now. We can go special circumstance. Number 4 is going to be. I'm not going to go as crazy as Ribo and go. I'm going to go legalize all drugs, but caveat: I'm going to say the punishment for non-drug related crimes such as burglary, you know, whatever you want to fill in the blank with, that you're going to do your drugs.
Yeah.
I'm going to cut your hands off. The punishments are going to be extreme.
Okay.
It's going to deter you from actually being a criminal,
Okay.
which is what it should be now.
Okay.
Number 3, which is a big one for me and probably a big one for any small business owner, minimum wage reform. I don't want to be included in the Apples, the Googles, the Walmarts. I don't want to be included in their stuff. I'm a small 25-person operation, and I shouldn't have to pay the same amount of money that a billion-dollar corporation is paying. Number 2, kind of in line with Ribo's. Not so much just cut them out, but the welfare and handouts, I would say reform, way more in depth into what's going on with them, way more in depth onto what we're actually paying our money out to. Number 1 is kind of hard for me to put into words, but I'm going to just say I'm going to get rid of all of the newest progressive inclusion, Title IX, affirmative action, any of these things that are telling businesses or schools or anyone in general that you are wrong for if you don't have 50% women or if you don't have, 50% Asians or blacks or whites or whatever it is. And even including colleges where they're making it harder for Asians to get in. I think that's bullshit. If the Asians are the most qualified and the best scorers, they should take over the schools. Not my problem. If you're the best performer, you get in. Including jobs, just because you have to hire X amount of people, you shouldn't have to do that. You hire the best qualified person, and if you're a private business, you should be able to hire whoever the fuck you want, including the worst candidate. That's on you. Do your thing.
Okay.
That's my number 1.
I love that pick.
Okay.
Tybo?
Number 5, universal health care.
Who's your sponsor?
Oh, my sponsor is the Golden State Warriors because Kawhi Leonard could suck a Biggum.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Everybody's hurt. Everybody's hurt right now. They might have a shot.
Biggums on the DL. Eh? All right. Oh, excuse me.
If Clay doesn't come back, they're in trouble.
Tyrone, as far as I know, Tyrone Biggums is not on the roster, but Chappelle Show shout out. But yeah, go Golden State. Everyone's rooting against them because people hate to see history for whatever reason that is. Could see with Tom Brady last year. Go Golden State.
I don't hate history. I just love Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, Kawhi could.
How do you
Again,
hate Kawhi? Go ahead, Tybo.
we've already done this. He could suck a Biggums. So number 5, universal health care. I think it's ridiculous that people in the greatest country in America there are people in the greatest country of America that cannot afford to have basic health care. And I think that's just not right. Number 4, I would love to have the schools change their curriculums. You don't need to take art. You should be having classes where it is a more or less a financial responsibility, financial responsibility laid out course. How do you get a mortgage? Whatever. Number 3,
I like that.
I agree with Rybo. Eliminate the two-party system. I feel like a lot of issues in this country are because the country feels divisive because of what quote-unquote team you're on. So if we can eliminate that, I think there could be more honest discourse and we can talk to each other in a more civilized manner. My number 2, gun reform. We are going to take all your guns.
Good luck.
Not really, but I think
Cory
that
Booker is.
You all get slingshots.
yeah, I have your bow and arrow, dude. You're really good with it. And my number 1 is the legalization of all drugs, with the caveat that we get legal sports betting for the entire nation.
Okay.
Because the fact that I can't bet on sports right now is a fucking farce.
You can just 300 miles away.
Yeah, and it's
That's quite a segue and
and it's
connection.
Still not
that's really
legal.
interesting.
It's still
So
not really legal.
are you saying one has to happen for
use
the
it.
other? half?
No, exactly.
No, I
Exactly.
didn't
I feel
want
like it was a lesser stretch of yours.
I
Yeah,
my
exactly.
thought process was I didn't want to do the legalization of 2 different things, so I just lumped them together because most guys you see at a sports bar are probably coked up and whatever. Not a sports bar,
Don't
but a
judge
sports
me.
a
Don't-
sports
don't
book.
judge me.
A sports book. Sports
hey.
book.
Don't judge me.
Are probably coked up. They've been watching, trying to see if Stony Brook is going to cover that 12.5 spread against whoever.
They
the high,
did one
the high
year.
school team that they're playing.
Yes,
They did
exactly.
one year.
So that's my top 5.
All right.
Got it. UB.
All right.
Jump in there.
Well, my corporate sponsor is Uncle Bob's Sports Bar, #1 sports bar in Inland Empire. We have a guest. More specifically, they have the cleanest bathrooms, which I'll be going to
There
quite
you
here
go.
shortly. So, Uncle Bob's Sports Bar, shout out for that. All right, my number 5 is make a 4-year degree a 2-year degree. Bottom line is it's just way, these kids are spending way too much time. The first 2 years is basically high school over again. You have Algebra 1, English 101, Psych 2, whatever, you know what I mean?
Yep.
It's just a waste of time. So we, in theory, could cut our costs in half relative to college. It's really kind of interesting how we've all come up with very similar topics.
Yeah.
And so I just think that's really, out of the 4 of us, we...
Now, I don't want to stop your list, but I think that's more of the overarching, probably, it's a more overarching issue with America is that so many people agree on so many things.
They
yet
just don't know it.
We're so divisive. But
They just don't know.
I'm
That's
sorry,
true.
but
Media.
That's a good segue to my number
Yeah.
1. But number 4 is modified flat tax, and I say modified because I have a limit on it relative to the poverty line. Number 3 is decriminalizing prostitution. And
My
and
man.
I am amazed that not a one of you came up with that one.
Robert
Well,
Kraft.
I
So
said
the old guy in
I
the
said-
group's taking that on.
Honorable
I said
men-
legalize everything.
Honorable mention,
that's true.
by the way.
That's true.
Honorable mention was prostitution.
Okay.
I said
okay,
legalize everything.
Okay.
But I'm going to kick back on that one just so you know.
Robert
Hey,
Kraft is
Nobody
so
gets hurt there.
excited
so that's
right
good.
now.
That's
That's
not true.
absolutely good. Number 2 for me is secure our borders, and then I take it to the next step like Cam does and deal with the people that are already here. So,
Okay.
and then number 1 is minimizing toxic tribalism.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that one too.
Yeah,
have
I do
some
like that one.
questions.
it's
I
very
don't-
global. It's 30,000 foot kind of a deal, but
I don't, yeah, that's, I
It's
mean, I guess we
abroad.
just jump into that one, right?
Well, okay. I think before we start,
Yeah.
I think that we, kind of to build off what you said, 2 things that I want to make mention of. One is we all agree that we live in the best country on the planet.
For sure.
Other than Canada, yeah.
Canada's nice.
Who's watching?
Look at Cam's shirt.
Got my USA shirt on right now.
And then I think that this is a good microcosm of America. Like, we all kind of agree with where we want to be, but we disagree on how to get there. And that's what we're going to get into now. But at the end of the day, we all kind of have the same wants, the same desires, whether you're on the left side or the right side or somewhere in the middle. So I think that's something important to note, because it isn't all dismal.
To be fair, unless I'm, led my life a way I didn't know I was living it, none of us are black. So maybe not everybody would agree with this. However, as I can only speak to this as a white, middle-aged, middle-class
We can
American.
only speak our own truths.
Exactly. So yeah.
Is what it is.
No, but I know what's best for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
don't
right.
worry, I got you guys.
Where do we want to start?
I want to start with Uncle Bob's number one, because I think
Really?
I
You
completely.
calling me out that quick?
No, I feel I
Hold
completely.
on. Do you have notes for each
No.
one of your picks?
I hope he does.
No,
He has notes for each one of his picks.
He's way
I
more.
love
He's
that
way more
shit.
prepared than we are.
Ryan,
I
you're my
love
son.
that shit.
I know. I should have known
You
that.
should have known better.
I 100% agree. I believe it's toxic, and I believe that it's not necessarily a people problem. It's a media problem.
Okay,
The
so
media is what portrays what people believe, right? I was talking with Coop last night. He's a local one of our
Okay,
buddies, right?
great conversation
And he
with
said, and he made a really good point that I never really thought about. He said, so when you watch the media and you go, okay, a divorced white family, right? A divorced white family is a struggling family. They're a broken family. But then when you see a single African American mom or black mom or whatever you want to say, they go, that's a statistic.
he said that, or you said that?
He said that. And I said, okay, that makes sense, because that's putting in their minds a media platform of a divisive life. Like, they're better than you. And I'm not saying that stats stand up for it.
I think that's an ultra sensitive stance.
Well, I'll jump into this. It is kind of crazy when you see like let's just say a black teenager, a black man, or black woman. They always show mugshots, it feels like. Just in general.
No, that's not true. We have athletes and stuff.
In general. Are they showing O.J. Simpson's
Well, I
highlight
mean,
film?
They shouldn't.
They're not.
They shouldn't.
And that's my point.
Yeah.
You'll see a lot of times like a man in Colorado kills his family and 2 kids, and it shows him on a fucking jet ski. Like
Yeah.
looking happy as a family. They don't really show. I mean, granted, I'm not on the news 24/7 watching to tally up which one's right and which one's wrong. Just in my very Twitter-esque kind of news feed, it does seem to show that the white people get a little more graceful picture. And I know it's
But I was just gonna say
Yeah,
also.
but that's splitting
did-
hairs. Who gives a crap?
Yeah, but I was also gonna say.
kinda fucked up.
I was also gonna
I mean,
say
it doesn't
how-
change.
maybe
It
they didn't have
doesn't
a
change
mugshot to put up.
they have the mugshot.
Well, they have the first one. I'm guessing those are probably recent mugshots, or
Those guys can have mugshots from a white guy killing his family. There was a guy in Colorado who killed his wife and 2 kids,
Yeah,
and
that
they
guy's
show
a piece-
them on a
that guy's a
banana
monster.
boat.
That guy's a piece of shit.
Yeah, they show them on a banana boat, and they're like, "Oh, look how happy they were," and then the white, they're not white, but the family ideals come crashing down.
Yeah, but I think what I'm getting at, not necessarily that exact situation, because that made sense to me a little bit, because it's putting an idea in somebody's mind that I'm already behind the gun. I'm already down a leg, which maybe is true, maybe is not true. I don't know. I'm not one to say. But I think the media portraying how divided we actually are. The 4 of us are very different people, right? Very, very different. Maybe you guys are closer because you're father son,
No.
and I don't think you are. I don't think you are.
You
but
used
I'm
to live
just
upstairs,
but
I
I'm
live downstairs.
but I'm just saying, like, the media separates us so very much when we're not that separated. I think if you really got down to like actual lie detector test, ask this guy what he really thinks. I think everybody's right in the middle.
It's pretty close. So
I think they are. I think the media is one who divides it.
One of my picks was that I really wanted to put on here was the media, but I didn't put it on here because I honestly couldn't think of a way to fix it. Because we do have freedom of the press. The only way that I can think to fix it is don't listen to it. And I don't watch the news. Mainstream media. I don't. It's just such poison.
It really is.
No matter what side you're on. So, okay, I have a story. On election night, when Trump got elected, we were in here, Dad, right? And we watched it all.
Best sporting event ever here.
So we watched it all happen, and we have 4 TVs on one wall. And on the 4 TVs, I think I've told you guys this before. We had ABC, CNN, Fox News, and
MSNBC or something.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's one truth happening, right?
There's one reality for sure.
One reality.
Trump's gonna win.
4 different, not even close, 4 completely different
spins.
Can we agree as a foursome though that Fox News and CNN are the furthest fucking crazies of them all?
Fox News sucks.
Who gets crazier?
CNN sucks.
Who goes further on each side?
See, I think MSNBC is probably the worst out of the big ones.
Well, they're like a non-factor. They're like a fucking.
Well, wait. Can we all agree that they used to be news?
No, now they're just clickbait. They're clickbait
now. They're just commentators, and they're just they all have their own opinion. They're not. News used to be reporting the truth. They're not even close to it.
Yeah, I think we might be too young. I think we might be too young to see truth in news.
You're shaking your head.
I mean, a newspaper used to be you read what actually happened.
No, it's always.
It's
but
the
the thing is,
black and white.
No, well, the thing is, it's always biased because when you have a human
now
being.
It is.
No, it's always been.
Yeah,
to a certain degree. Has it gotten way worse? For sure. Mm-hmm. But anytime you have a human being depicting something that happened, there's bias that's going to happen. And it might be very minuscule. If something happens to you and you tell me a story about it, that's not exactly how it happened. And that's just that, and vice versa, because we have our own biases that we put, biases, I think is the correct way to say that we put into anything. And so it's just gotten on a mass scale, but it's been used for clickbait, it's been used for money, it's been used to manipulate people for many, many different reasons. And that's the problem, is it's on a mass scale of manipulation, and it's big money, it's big power, and I don't know how to stop it.
Well,
that's why I didn't make my list.
We are definitely at the word toxic.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't think
tribalism itself is very, it's healthy.
No,
so
as a team.
I don't disagree with your number one, but how do you fix it? Because that's what I had in mind when I did mine. It's like, these are ways that I'd actually fix it.
Yeah, I have a couple of those.
Otherwise it's just.
I got a list of ways to fix it.
All right, go for it.
Let's hear it.
Yep.
All right. Well, first, we all understand what tribalism is.
Yeah, we got that.
Yeah, it's all,
we got that.
Raiders and.
I would say, I was
Raiders
going to say,
and
I would say it's
Chargers
more picking a team rather than tribalism. Yeah, you're on a team
Yeah,
because
it's a group.
tribes are good.
It's
teams
definitely
are.
a group. Yeah, for sure.
Which obviously
teepees and arrows,
plays into Ryan's number one and one of my. I think
They're very similar.
I think they're similar.
They're very similar.
No, it's all. Yeah, it's all.
All right, so how do you fix it?
Well, you basically got to look at yourself. You got to be able to accept diversity, and I think that needs to be taught in the schools. Start early. It's okay for someone else to have a different opinion, and accept that and learn how to accept that.
Fuck that. I was on the kickball court first.
I think what you're saying is great because I think most people are like that.
But it's not taught that way.
No, okay, so if you take a group of 100 people, how many people are just on one side and not able to listen? I don't know. I mean, 70-80% of them are probably going to be able to just go, I agree to disagree. The problem where we run into it is the people we elect. The people we elect are the ones that go, I'm on this side, and that's it. And you get good dudes every once in a while. You get good guys that go, you know what? No, I'm not voting for that just because I'm on this side. And there's not that many of those, though. Those are outliers.
A great example of that is
John McCain.
Our last presidential election. Hillary Clinton, a Democratic nominee, says she is so pro-gay marriage when 5 years prior was anti-gay marriage. She is fitting that narrative
It was just a
for the
snowball.
Democratic Party. Donald Trump was a registered Democrat.
Yeah.
And now he is anti everything that fits the Republican narrative. And that's unfortunately what that tribalism kind of promotes. If you can't win over these few states or especially the bigger ones in the electoral college, if you're not going to West Virginia and telling these guys, hey, we're going to keep your coal mining jobs, even though everyone in the world knows that's a dying business. That's just kind of how the way the world works. You're not being honest. The same way Hillary was not being honest, saying, "Oh, I am so
Deplorables.
pro gay marriage," and it's like, no, you actually did not. You were not supporting that mindset 6 years ago.
So I think you guys actually, you kind of disagree with him, but I think you more made his point than anything.
No, I agree with him.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
I agree.
No,
Okay,
I,
good. I agree with them.
I
I just
1000% agree.
don't know how to fix it.
Yeah, that's I
Well,
don't know.
I think it comes to the individual.
But I think
you
the
gotta
indivi-
look at
but-
your own assumptions.
I think the
and
individual is good.
Really see where you're at. See if you're stuck.
I
If
don't
you're
agree.
toxic or not stuck.
You don't think they are?
No.
Really?
I mean, I think that
Maybe I
there's-
just surround myself with people that are
well,
open-minded.
I
No, I
think-
do know some stupid people. You're right.
I think we're.
Yeah, I do. I do.
I
I'm
think we're
sitting
not. I
right
think we're
here.
not as good as we like to think we are. I don't know. I think I may have said it on the podcast before, but one of my favorite quotes of all time is, "If you want to change the world, go home and love your family."
That's right.
Mother Teresa. And so, well, to make big change, we got to make these small changes. And there's too many people that every morning and every night they start and end their day with Fox News or CNN. I don't care which one it is. They're both terrible, or
yeah,
whatever
they're both bad.
media outlet it is. Okay, you need to look. You need to get your news from a credible source. And I'm not even so sure that world news means that much.
No.
And I don't think it does because,
I
like,
disagree with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's decent to keep on the times.
Yeah,
keep
I'm
up
not
with
sure
it.
you can say that.
You should understand there's genocides going on in
Yeah.
X country.
Venezuela.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
should.
People are starving in North Korea.
You should
You should
understand.
understand that.
a general knowledge for sure, but we don't need I'm going to call it propaganda that's shoved down our throats from the right and the left.
I agree with
And
that.
if you start or end your day or both with either one of those, you're just poisoning yourself. And to your point, not everyone is like that. But I know people where, they're big Second Amendment guys, and the moment I say someone needs a psychological test to buy a gun, they just
Freak out.
conversation over.
Those are stupid people.
And
though.
it's like, I have no respect for someone like that.
Those are stupid
That's the
people.
toxic part of it. That's when you get
Yeah, I
so
think that-
polarized.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's just
You get-
that's just
You get
that's
so
just
polarized. No matter
closed
what
mind.
you say, I hate you. You're stupid. You're a dumbass.
Right.
You know, basically what happens is you get so polarized, you stop talking, and when you stop
Right.
talking, you start fighting.
Would
And
you
that's
say?
just- and that's just not good.
Would you say it's the lack of talking from one side or the lack of listening from the other?
Well, communication.
And I think they go
is
hand in hand.
both. It's
I think they go hand in hand.
Absolutely.
Because when one side stops listening, that's where you just hit that brick wall.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I don't think you'll ever find the guy that watched. All right, a guy that watches Bill Maher and Rachel Maddow every night is not going to listen to the guy that's listening to Sean Hannity and Bill O'Reilly.
See,
Those guys will never be able to have a legitimate discussion without getting in an argument.
Yeah,
I
those
hate-
are the two ends of the pen.
I hate Bill Maher.
For sure.
I hate him.
And Bill Maher's an asshole.
But I respect Bill Maher because he allows right wingers to come on his show.
he
and-
kind of ambushes them though. It's
And
No,
he's-
no, he
he's
no,
talented too.
No,
You could disagree
if
with
you,
him, but he's
I watch Bill Maher every week. I do. Honest to God, I don't like him. I don't agree with a lot of the things that he says, but he also allows those people to come on there, and he goes, right from the beginning, he goes, I don't agree with what you have to say, but let's talk about it. And I think he's an arrogant fucking prick,
Yeah.
for sure.
And-
But he also,
we need more
just
of
to
that.
allow him on there,
He
that's more.
communicates,
That's
okay.
more than a lot of the other media outlets do.
Fox News lets people on there all the time, but the problem is,
Yeah, but
and
they
the
ambush. They're-
The problem I have with Bill
Yeah,
Maher
They're hyenas.
is Bill Maher understands who's going to a Bill Maher show. Probably
Well,
mostly
there's like
blue guys.
18 guys in the audience, and they clap and yell and do all their shit. But I like allowing him to. He allows them to say what they're gonna say.
For sure, but the only problem I have with Bill Maher is he mocks them as though he's so high and righteous.
Yeah, He's actually, I mean,
He's a smart guy. I'm not saying
for what
he's not.
for what I don't like about Bill Maher, I actually like that about Bill Maher, that he allows people on there, and I like that the people that follow him go, why would you give that guy a platform? Because because that's what you need to do. And he praises the Republicans all the time. He goes, you know why they fucking win? Because they're ruthless.
So, all right, maybe I'm misunderstanding, because Fox News does let Democrats on.
Yeah, but
a
they
lot.
bash him. They do some stupid shit.
So are you saying they're giving him the platform and he allows them to speak,
He does.
as
He
opposed
does.
to the? We've all seen those clips. CNN,
Yeah,
Fox News,
yeah,
MSN.
oh, yeah.
You get 3, 4, talking heads,
Yeah.
and they're all talking over each other.
Yeah.
So that's, I'm assuming what you're saying.
Yeah.
Bill Maher allows the guy to talk for
Oh,
a
he
couple
does.
minutes.
Yeah, and he tells the
then-
audience too, like, let this guy talk. Like, let him do it.
Well, that's the whole two-party that we've all talked about.
Yeah.
Let's get rid of the two-party.
Broken
the real
system.
party should be in the middle of that aisle. That's where the real party should be.
Yeah.
And I'm a firm believer of that. We get rid of both parties. I mean, we're a country of one.
But
So-
so Bob, I would say you're probably the furthest right of all of us. Would you say?
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, is that fair to say?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so some guy runs in the middle, right?
Yeah.
Some guy runs in the middle.
I think
What
that's
are you
the
what are
goal.
you what are you willing to give up?
I
What are
think
you willing to
more-
budge on? Are you willing to
More than-
budge
more-
on?
a lot more than you probably think.
No, that's what I'm asking.
I think the goal is to end up in the middle, for sure.
even if you lean a little bit right and
you
somebody.
gotta compromise. You gotta open
Well,
your
yeah,
mind.
I'm
You
happy.
gotta open your
I'm
mind
happy
to
you
be
say that.
acceptable.
I'm happy you say that.
Can I
You
frame this
definitely gotta be
question?
acceptable with other people's ideas. Absolutely.
Out of all the big questions that we have in
Yeah.
America,
Hot
there's
button.
a lot of them. What would be the one where you're like, I'm close, but I can budge on X? Do you have one of those? I know it's tough off top. but
Yeah, that's a hard off the top.
Is there one where you go, I kind of see where they're coming from, but I'm not going to go as far as take all my guns? Like, that's ridiculous. You know?
No, gun
Something like
control. I'm probably a little more towards the middle on gun control than you would think.
I would say if.
And I
as
also
his
am-
son,
But-
that's the one that. He
But
would
the
pick.
only protection that I have is the left is leaning towards, and some of the 2020 candidates are talking about taking all the guns, and I don't believe in that.
That's
I
that's
do believe in
crazy.
a lot of control.
How much of that is media, though?
But
Yeah.
I'm
No,
also.
I've heard them say it. They've said it. They've actually said it.
They have said
Cory
that.
Booker's absolutely said it.
Yeah, and those guys, I think a lot of the
That's
guys on the
stupid.
left understand, and that's a weird thing. And I'm going to try to segue this into the two-party system thing. When you're a Democrat or a Republican, as a guy that leans more left than right, I would not consider myself a Democrat, but a guy that leans more left than right. If I hear a guy say, "I want to take everybody's guns," I go, "You're fucking crazy."
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. I can't have the pendulum swing so far. I want a guy that's in the middle and goes, "Hey, we got a lot of mass gun shootings
Yeah.
in this country, and is taking guns away gonna solve the issue? No, that'll never happen, and it'd probably take 16 years worth of legislation.
Mental health.
More
Well,
than
I
that.
honestly, I think it starts with understanding that there's no legislation that's going to solve any one problem completely.
Ever.
Totally agree.
Ever.
Abortion,
But you can chip away, and you
gun
can
control.
Abortion can be solved.
Let's not get into that right away.
No, it can't. It can be solved.
We got a lot to talk
You're
about.
the mediator.
No, but I'll go back to the gun thing because I mean, obviously, I'm the one here that owns guns. I'm the one here that.
Well,
I am not opposed to stricter gun laws to get a gun. You know why? Because I have nothing to hide. I have nothing to. I have no mental issues. I have no. I don't have any of these
Can we
things.
put that
where-
up to vote?
Well, that's fine. Yeah, but I'm saying like, there's no reason for me to fight a stricter gun law because I have nothing to hide.
because you're a responsible gunner.
Because I'm a responsible gunner.
Do
But
you,
then when you come to, like, if you want to take away a certain type of gun for a certain type of, person, that's like taking away Lamborghinis from rich people because that car goes fast. They can go faster. They can kill somebody.
That's why I want to ask you to pump the brakes on that, because that is one of the reasons of my gun reform. But I'd like, unless you guys.
No, that's
wanna-
fine. Jump into it.
Well, wait, let me just say that Rabo asked about how I fix tribalism.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's do it.
And honestly, I just think it becomes personal.
You
know?
literally got like 30 papers over there and notes.
Yeah, for those that are not just
He's a
listening to
preparer.
audio,
He's a preparer.
I'm a prepper. Okay.
He's a left-handed
He's got-
Virgo.
I'm a left-handed.
He's got 40
Virgo.
cases of water under his house.
Engineer Virgo. That's my excuse in life. Okay. No, the bottom line is that we all have to be open-minded and accept other people's positions. And I think from an individual standpoint, you got to have that frame of mind, and then as a parent, you got to teach that, and hopefully, as our teachers would encourage that, because I don't think it's pretty hard to argue that approach to life.
So I'm going to challenge
And,
you.
We're not. Okay, here we go.
Do you think that you do that?
Do I think that I what?
Are open to hearing other people's opinions?
Thank you.
Missy? Thank you, honey.
Thank you, Missy.
One of our number one servers here at Uncle Bob's Sports Bar, the
The
number one
number one.
sports
Yeah,
bar in Inland Empire.
He wouldn't even give you the number one title. He said one of
No, the number one.
That's
Hey.
tough.
We got a
You're
lot of
obviously
comments.
not a parent or an
That's
uncle of all
tough.
these beautiful nieces.
This is true.
Anyways, don't dodge.
I got 20 nieces I have to keep happy.
Thank you.
Good luck with that, pot star.
Pod star, bro.
Pot star. Porn star or pot star?
All right,
Both.
focus
You're a
up.
pot star.
If you like
Focus.
small dick porn, I'm right up your
All right,
alley.
all right, go back with that. Do I?
Do you think that you give people the opportunity to share their opinion, and are you open to other people that have differing views than you?
I got a lot of room for improvement for that.
I
Okay.
think that's fair.
At 58 years old, I think I'm not ashamed. I got room for that. I'd like to think that I'm really, really approachable, and that's part of it. But evidently, I'm not, and that's not just from you. That's feedback I get from a lot of people, and that personally, from a personal standpoint, that hurts and that's hard, and that's something that I have tried to course correct in my own life and try to get better. That doesn't mean I don't believe in it. So yeah, I believe in what I said. Do as I say, type of thing. Yeah, I might be failing in that, but I try hard.
At least you can recognize it.
Yeah.
I mean,
At least you recognize that there's a.
yeah, it's a catch.
The whole do as I say, not as I do thing is bullshit.
Yeah, I agree.
But you do recognize it. I will say, as your son, you have gotten better.
Yeah.
Because I know I've challenged you on it. And that's not why you've gotten better because of me. I'm just saying, like.
No, actually, it is.
We have a lot
It
of good.
actually is. You're really good for me.
Well, we have a lot of good, honest conversation about it. I mean, there was a point where, if somebody disagreed with you on whatever it may be, you'd say, "I don't like them,"
Yeah,
and that's what
I was toxic.
that's what separates our country,
I was toxic.
right?
I was a toxic tribalizer.
And you,
How's
but
that?
okay, and to take the tribal thing more,
Because I don't like CNN. I'm
More-
a Fox guy, and I'm learning more about that.
yeah, but more under a microscope. You have a lot of friends like that. I won't mention any names.
No,
but the majority of your friends are guys that if I say, "Hey, I think differently
Yeah.
about this," fuck
yeah.
you,
And
and conversation over.
rival.
That's
what's-
just ignorant.
That's what's truly helped me.
It's stupid.
That's what's
Stupid.
truly helped me. I mean, I don't know if you guys know. I go to a coffee group it's my therapy group. I call it. Just a great collage of people.
Yeah.
There's probably 10 people every morning that show up, and from all different walks of life. We have a couple liberals involved.
That's what I was just
I
gonna
don't-
ask. How many lean right and how many
Most
don't?
of them are gunslinging lead.
This is what I'm
filling-
saying. Why'd you point at me
filling
and look
guys.
at me? Because there's liberals there.
Because you're closest to the left out of the table. That's the only thing, and
Okay.
I'm assuming you're proud of that.
No, I'm not. I'm not proud of
all right.
being.
You are what you are.
I'm proud
yeah.
of being a Red Sox fan, a Spurs fan, and Ohio. I'm not proud of leaning one way on the current political spectrum.
But you're
It's not something I
passionate.
take
You're
pride
passionate to
in.
that side, and that's cool.
I'm not. I'm really not.
I'm
all
just
that
saying. The bottom
passionate.
line is what Ribo has said is I've kind of stopped talking and I've learned to listen a hell of a lot more.
Yeah,
And,
that's true.
And I become a better person for it.
That's
And,
yeah.
and that's at my age. You know what I mean? So
Okay, and
it's really
and-
cool, and I learned that from my son.
But that's to the
I'm
kind
glad
of
you made
that's
that change.
that's
Really
to the
bitchin'.
that's to the point that we're making. I think on a broader scale is we all have the ability to change our lives and the people, our own quote unquote media. It doesn't need to be CNN, it doesn't need to be Fox News. I think there's like a scientific study they did that you can only have close relations, whatever that means, with 150 people. Okay? So assume you have close relations with 150 people and you just change who you are. You're not that guy anymore that's like, oh, you don't agree with me? I hate you.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you're that guy, hey, let's have a conversation. Well, theoretically, you just affected 150 people's lives. And if you could change half of those people's mindsets to a certain degree, that's a whole nother,
If all 150 are willing to listen,
to say it's one. I mean,
change one.
right.
Yeah.
And
Theoretically, yes, you could change 150.
So that's
yeah.
how you end tribalism, other than eliminating the two-party system
My-
and media.
My mindset was paralyzing. I was
Yeah, you
not
were-
getting
yeah.
better.
It was terrible. It was a terrible mindset.
I would say
As a
at-
human, I
yeah.
was not getting better.
At 21
As a
years
dad,
old,
I was not.
and that doesn't really make a whole bunch of
I'm
sense
not
because
that
I'm not in the
smart.
same walk of life. I'm not in the same situation as everybody. So maybe my exact situation doesn't line up with their exact situation, and they can go, well, no, that doesn't line up with what I have going on. You go, well, fuck, you're right. That doesn't line up with what you have going on. So you look back and you go, I'm not the center of the universe.
Yeah.
So
It's-
what I think doesn't really matter to somebody who lives in a different state or a different, even area code or, different county. Fuck, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, like that's I could not agree with you more because when I was younger, I was so stubborn,
Yeah, you got it.
and I'm like, I get it. There is no God, there is no this, there is no that. And if you think otherwise, you're dumb because you don't believe in science. For example, I don't believe that anymore. It is now there was some Mary Jane mixed in there and kind of made me a little more open-minded and a
Yeah.
little more welcoming to other people. But,
Legalize all drugs.
yep.
Legalize everything.
There is a serious moment I think that most people go through in their lives where they go, I don't have all the answers. I might think I do. I might have some solutions, but I don't have the answer. And I think a lot of us in our top 5 could go, this is what I'd like to change, but I think we're all also cerebral enough to go, how do you even accomplish that?
Yeah.
You know,
a lot of
and
them are a stretch.
and you have
yeah.
that kind of, you go, okay, this makes sense for me, but I also know the other people on this side are going to be like, oh, that's a little much. Where do you meet in the middle?
Yeah, but back to Bob's point, what he was saying about looking at yourself, if you could get everybody, which is an absurd,
Yeah.
Won't happen.
absurd thing to do, go,
Never happen.
every single person just look at themselves and go, okay, I'm open to hearing the other side.
The world would change overnight.
The world would change overnight,
Well, that's a great movement.
but it won't happen.
Well,
And that's
it won't
the sad
happen.
part.
I think
and it won't
it's-
happen because of the media.
I think it's
I'm sorry, I
important.
gotta pee.
It's okay.
Well,
I think it's
I didn't go
important.
before.
are you going to my sponsor?
Yeah.
First,
your-
first commercial break of the evening.
I'll be taking one myself, trust me.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Dude,
Wasn't
I piss
wasn't
like
taken
a,
by the oldest
I'll be
guy.
taking
I
rotations.
piss like a cocker spaniel, dude. I don't understand
Yeah.
what's wrong with me.
I think I think it's important for everyone to have their own takes, and I'm okay with them being strong takes. But the caveat is at the end of the day, you have to be willing to say, hey, I'm still learning, and I'm willing to listen to you. And I don't care how far right, how far left, north, south, wherever you are. If you have those last two parts, I'll sit down and talk to you any day of the week. But it's the people that just shut those last two parts off that I have zero respect for. And that's why our country's fucked up. And I know people like that. And they're friends of mine. But I really, really, really disrespect that part of
But
it.
that goes against human. That's fighting human nature. It's just-
Well,
You-
that's the
it
whole
will
part of
shut down.
that's the whole part of evolution.
Right.
Evolution is fighting human nature.
Right.
Human nature is what we are, right?
Can I take this a step back a little bit? Human nature is tribalism. Let's be honest.
But a healthy version.
I mean,
No,
So
that's a
tribal-
good point.
I think
I like that point.
I think humans have been ingrained since, a man went, oh shit, that's fire, to say, we are in a tribe, we need to stick together.
Because it was
that's-
survival.
It's survival. And I'm not a whatever the word is, psychologist or whatever it is. But I think there is something innate within human beings where they go, I feel safer being around people that are in my quote unquote tribe.
100%.
Now, with that,
for sure.
Gives you comfortability.
It's a
yes,
safety
it's
net.
comfortability.
Yeah.
And I think we could also probably
why-
all agree that it's not, in current day and age, the right way. You don't want yes men in your corner the entire time, or you're just
Those are my least favorite people that are just super agreeable. Not saying that everybody needs to argue about everything, but have your own opinion, man.
Yeah.
Like, don't just go along with the.
Are you gonna sit in your group of friends having a beer and everyone goes, "Dude, I love that movie." I don't know, it's a super simplistic,
No, but we all know those
analogy.
guys.
Yeah.
But and you hated that movie, and you go, "It was all right."
Yeah.
Like, fuck that. That movie sucked.
Yeah.
I didn't like that movie. And I feel like that could probably transition, but into the political aspect that we're more or less talking about today. But when you ask a guy like me that leans a little more left, if you're going to ask me to watch Bill O'Reilly, I'm going to walk away from that show and be like, this is bullshit. And if you ask someone like you, Uncle Bob, to watch someone
Rachel
like
Maddow.
Rachel Maddow,
Yeah.
you're going to be like, fuck this woman.
Yeah.
Like, this is crazy.
That's
But are
because
you
we
gonna-
don't want to waste
but-
our time.
but-
are you going to sit
but-
down and watch it, or are you just out?
With those two, depending on what side I lean, I'm out because I'm not going to get anything but
Yeah,
fluff.
I don't like
But
that.
There's only a couple that I'm out on.
No,
Why
I
are
think
you out on anything? Why would you not just at
But that's-
least give it a chance?
Well,
That's the toxic part of it.
No,
That's-
if somebody asked me, like if somebody actually, I think that's what you're saying, right?
No,
if somebody
I-
sat
I-
down and asked you to watch it, you would watch it.
but
No,
I
he's
know where
saying
he's
you
coming
would-
from.
he's saying
you
It's
wouldn't.
very charged.
Yeah.
It's charged. And I guess my point is the problem with the media, those guys aren't on the 1 p.m. Eastern time slot. That is the 8 p.m. heavy hitter that everyone watches.
So why? But
And
Yeah,
that's
they're the
the
cleanup
issue.
hitters, for
Those are the guys that push the agenda of either network. Now, I've watched Fox News before. I'm like, whoa, I got this Fox News girl calling out other Fox News anchors. CNN, same way, same deal.
Yeah.
If we could have more discourse like that as opposed to being like, this is our guy. This is Sean Hannity. He's coming on at 8, and you know what he's about.
Yeah.
You have Rachel Maddow, and I'm sure there's
Don
other
Lemon-
left.
Don Lemon.
But you know what they're about. And that's the part where people make those broad generalizations like, that's what CNN's about. That's what Fox News is about. When I know
And
if you
that's the
watch probably other
sickness.
times.
That's why this country's so sick. I mean, it truly is.
Let's just say, too-
Tribalism by itself is very healthy because you feel that you're part of a group.
A movement.
A movement.
Yeah.
There's some pride. There's some self-being. A group, a team. Whatever it may be. But once you get polarized and there's just such separation, you become toxic, like
Yeah.
what I said, and then it truly becomes us versus them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when it becomes us versus them, it's dukes up. You're a dumbass.
And nothing gets accomplished.
I don't care what you say.
When it
You
becomes
say it's
like-
black, I say it's white.
When
You
it
know what I mean?
becomes Ohio State versus Michigan
Yeah.
or Red Sox versus
that's
Yankees.
where we're at right now.
In the political
We're there.
discourse,
We're there.
that's where
No,
nothing
that's
can happen. That's where
Hey, we're
there's-
paralyzed. We are absolutely paralyzed right now.
Yeah, we're not getting anything
nowhere.
done.
We're getting
We're spinning
nowhere.
we're spinning wheels and not going anywhere.
Forget logic. Forget what's
Yeah.
best for.
Sorry for hijacking that, but
No.
No. It's true. I mean,
Let's just say though, this is
Osama.
kind of out of here, but
that
Joe Rogan just became the highest rated news outlet out of any news outlet there is.
I love that.
great for podcasts.
Are you serious?
Great
He
for the
became
world.
he just beat the highest rated Fox News show.
It's,
It was the
it's-
last one that he had to beat.
It's great for the world.
That's
He is the
incredible.
highest rated news outlet there is.
Good for him.
Yeah. And he is
Could be us, fellas.
right fucking in the middle.
Right in the
Good
middle.
Right
He's
in the middle.
very
Right in the middle.
Very in the middle, where everybody should strive to be.
But that's a guy that accepts other people's opinion.
And that's where he says
He's
too,
open.
yeah. He
And
goes
he's open.
when he puts on,
He'll take
Tulsi
other people's
Gabbard,
ideas.
he's gonna get hated on. When he puts on a a right wing guy,
Ben
they go-
Shapiro.
Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
Where I mean,
Tulsi Gabbard's someone that I might vote for as a conservative.
I'm not mad at her.
I really like
Who?
almost
I'm not-
everything that
Tulsi.
she says.
She's pro
Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah.
She's the Hawaiian.
Oh, she's smoking hot
Yeah,
military.
yeah, and she's
She's a fly chick.
she
Better
served
not
in the
vote.
military. She has a lot of good ideas. She has some crazy ideas. Oh, from my personal opinion.
I was gonna
for
say
sure.
minimum wage.
Yeah,
One.
for sure.
But-
and
but
we can
she's-
get into that later. But
That's what I want to talk about that one.
minimum wage.
But she's
Oh, hot
one-
she is?
No,
No,
she's
she's
one
hot.
that I could vote for pretty easily.
Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah. And I have no problem doing that
No.
once we eliminate the two-party
because she knows
system.
how to work the internet, and she's not 75 years old.
Well, no, I think she has a pretty good understanding of the world. She has a good heart. She has a good respect
Going to
for
my
the
sponsor?
environment.
She has a good respect for the military. She understands the military. She's been in it.
Right. That's
That's
my
a
point.
big part of it. She's already talked about. We don't need to be world policing. We don't need to be
It's
doing all these
ridiculous.
crazy things.
It's
We
ridiculous.
don't need to be. We need to be spending our money here rather than over there, which I 100% agree with.
Yeah.
We have so many problems in this
Do you
country.
think we know enough about that?
The public, or what? As
to not police the world?
oh, see,
do
no,
you mean by that?
that's my thing. I don't fully understand why we're world policing. I know there's probably a reason. I think a
Well-
lot of it's probably money.
Well, let me ask you this: you think it's just ego, why we're doing it?
No.
I think it's
it's all money. Drew.
I think it's money, and I think it's it's to save face. A lot
you really
of it.
think it's money, or is it?
Why else would we do it out of the goodness
Security.
of our heart?
Well, security is probably part of it, but I mean, to be honest, we have the biggest
And
military
that's
there
based
is.
on oil. That's based
Yeah,
on
for
this.
sure.
That's based on
We have the-
that.
okay, so
That's a good point.
We have the biggest
know?
military there is, right? Okay, so we had 9/11.
Yeah, I don't know.
We had 9/11, right?
I don't know. I don't know how good we are.
We had
we
9/11.
think we're good, but we run our
Okay,
own fucking
that's,
sailboats.
that's
against
what
each
I'm
other.
saying.
Or
We had 9/11 that happened, and
yeah.
we should have known that, right? Maybe we did, maybe we didn't. I mean,
After
that's
we have a beer with George.
that's a whole nother conversation, but nobody's fucking with us. We don't need to be in these stupid little countries and trying to push our agenda on them. So you don't want democracy?
No,
let your dictator fucking let them kill their own citizens. We got people dying every day that we're not worried about.
and
Yeah, but
spending a lot of money.
I'm not sure we know, and this is.
Flint
And
still
and
doesn't
I-
have.
I'm
and I
not sure
don't
we
full
don't
water.
know enough to know why we're doing what we're doing.
I agree.
I think there's a whole
I
lot
agree.
bigger picture.
I agree. There's probably a larger.
that we don't need to know. It's not. We don't. It's
Well,
not
if
for
we're
us to
spending
know.
trillions and trillions of dollars, we do need to know.
Nah.
There's a reason when that
No, there's
Syrian.
a reason we don't know is because
Saudi
it's,
Arabian.
It's posturing.
But we're also selling guns to
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, we're selling
But
guns to
we
people
don't care
to-
that he
yeah.
killed,
We aren't now.
blatantly killed
did.
a reporter.
I mean, he just backed the guy that killed that reporter.
Because there's a market there.
I mean, I mean,
We're selling guns to
Okay.
him.
Maybe we should be out of that
okay,
shit.
Okay. Well, all
maybe
right.
we shouldn't be involved in that at all.
Well, but there's.
you want to
there's
kill a
an
reporter?
issue.
Do
I
your
mean,
thing.
I mean, there's a. I get it. It's a tough deal. That guy gets killed, right? Not good. Somebody should be hung for it.
Nothing happened.
The person who
But
did
if
it.
you do something for it, the consequence on the other side is mega,
Okay,
mega huge.
This is gonna sound very.
I think
and,
that goes
you
to
know,
Cameron's point.
Yeah,
though.
this is gonna.
Where do you
be-
draw the line on
thi-
principle?
Okay, this is where I'm saying. This is gonna sound very, I guess, inhumane, if you will. I don't think that's our problem. I don't think that guy getting killed there is our problem. I don't think we should have to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we shouldn't have to deal with what's going on there. I'm sorry. That's shitty he got killed. For sure. It's shitty that he's killing his own citizens. But is that our fucking problem? We have so many more problems than that. We got shit going on in this country.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to keep.
But that's why Trump let it go.
No, that's
Obama let it go too.
that's
for
a
while.
scapegoat.
I mean,
Obama killed more people with drones than anybody.
No, no,
so.
no, I
But
just
no,
say-
we've known Saudi Arabia as a problem.
Yeah.
He
for a
let
long
that
time.
happen, but man,
A long time.
The
Even
opposite
Bush.
is all the
Bush knew.
all the oil deals he has with the people that ordered that killing.
Understandable.
Okay, which is huge. That's global. So now we're not in a war with Iran for oil. We got oil over here because
Yeah.
we let this one little murder go. It's one little murder. I'm sorry.
I think we could all agree that
That's not a good position
No,
to
no,
be
no,
in
but
as the
It's
president.
not. It's not.
Look,
what I would say is
we just did the top 5 for America. We struggled, right? Did you struggle with it? Anybody struggle with this?
I
top
struggle
5?
with cutting it down to 5.
well, my number one's personal, so yeah.
Yeah, I like
So
30.
I mean,
pretty
it's not
selfish.
easy. Just think if you're the
I think my
president.
number
Holy shit.
1 and 2 and 3 are personal.
But I did want to say this.
All right, I gotta go see my sponsor.
I think we could all agree that none of us here are going to come up with world policies.
No, you're not saving.
Or even, we all understand that there's a lot that we don't know. We don't know.
Oh, absolutely.
We don't.
We're not solving the world's problems now.
Fuck no. But from an idealistic standpoint, I think we're all going,
And-
okay, if I could
Yeah.
do this, no consequences on the other side, which we all understand there would be.
To Bob's
this
point.
is what I would
Yeah.
do.
To Bob's point, we don't know the ins and outs of the military, why we are where we are, why we're doing what we're doing. As an outsider looking in, I go, why the fuck are we worried about this country when we should be worried about ours? Why are we doing this?
Exactly.
Like, okay, so think about it. If everybody didn't, okay, so if we wanted to close the border, right? Take all those troops from wherever, the
Yep.
1,000,
Syria,
Troops.
Saudi Arabia.
line them up on the
Or-
fucking border. You want to stop the border? A wall's not going to stop them. I'll tell you that right now. You know
fuck
what
no,
will
it's not.
stop them? Dudes with M16s that are going to fucking mow them down when they try to come across. Is that okay? Probably not. But if you want to, I mean,
If you want to stop it.
yeah, if you want to stop it, if you really want to stop it, that's what it is. Goes back to guns. Give them all guns. Everybody in Texas, everybody in California, everybody in,
This dip smells so good.
It is good.
yeah.
How often do you dip, Cam?
Tuesdays when I
Do you
the
get a good
podcast.
buzz?
I'm pretty sure you play golf on Saturday, Sunday.
Every time of that
Oh, I
night.
played golf on. No, I didn't have any on Saturday.
No?
No, I don't think I did.
Am I the bad influence?
No.
Okay.
All right, let's move to a different topic.
Okay, where you want to go?
There's a lot of ways
You
we
said you
can-
wanted to get into minimum wage.
I think either minimum wage or the K through 12, which also ties into
That's
Uncle
three of you,
Bob's
3 of you guys have
4-year
school
to
reform.
2-year.
Want to do minimum wage real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I don't think it's all that quick, but yeah.
Well, we can.
I
we
want
can
you.
get in.
I want you to to explain your.
I think what we have going right now is a disconnect on the idea of America. The idea of America is small business. And, well, it used to be, I'm sorry. It used to be small business. Now it's large corporations. Go ahead.
The idea of
To
it
build
is-
America.
The idea of it is, but statistically, if you look at it, 80% of jobs are provided by small
Yes.
businesses.
I understand that. That's
So
what I'm saying.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
there's a
But-
disconnect.
But the money aspect of it, which is all comes back around to, is large corporations
Right.
are run the world.
Right.
Okay, so as a small business, they're going to price out small businesses very soon. If Tulsi Gabbard, who I agree with and a lot of things, does try to pass a $15 minimum wage, federal minimum wage, which means West Virginia, you're paying $15 a minimum wage.
Yep.
You will shut down and you're a big business as far as it comes to what's the statistic on $1 million businesses? $1 million small businesses. We had this talk before. The
Failure rate?
no, the
The amount that
the
actually,
amount that actually make $1 million a year,
it's like
which
less than 1%.
less than 1%.
Gross
yeah.
or net?
Gross.
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 Okay, so
Revenue.
Revenue.
Straight
Okay,
revenue.
so
Okay.
you were going to price those people out of business.
Straight gross? The million?
You will.
Really?
You will. If you're a small restaurant making, you're making 30 grand a month, you're paying your bills, you're making. That's what people don't understand too. There's a lot of businesses that don't. You think automatically that the guy's a bad guy because he started a business and he has people working for him. That's not the bad guy. That's the guy putting up all the risk. That's the guy doing everything. Whereas right now we got this whole thing where the worker deserves all this stuff. The worker didn't put up all the risk for their whole family to start this business.
That's
And-
America.
He put up everything. She put up everything. This is not where we need to focus our attention. I understand people need to have a way out, but it's a minimum wage. You're not supposed to live on it. It's not a living wage. So if I went back and I reformed it, I would go, okay, Apple, you can afford to pay $15 an hour. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. Do your thing. A mom and pop place, you can't afford it. And then you get people coming in, because the consumer is the one that's going to get the cost of that. Okay, what did a hamburger
So-
what did a hamburger used to be? $6,
So-
$7.
so are you
now
pro-
it's 10, 12, 14 bucks.
So are you proposing that the minimum wage only goes up for a certain
I think there needs to be
corporation
level. I think there needs to be. I don't think there needs to be any federal minimum wage. I think it needs to be all situational. It needs to be way more in depth.
Federal's ridiculous.
Yeah, because
Federal's
cost of living in
ridiculous.
New York is way different than it is in West Virginia.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Federal's
yeah, and
ridiculous.
Pasadena now. Pasadena's fighting back on it because they went up to 15 and they went, no, fuck this.
But
We
people are
can't afford
closing.
it.
People
They're-
are closing their doors.
They're closing left and
30
right.
years in business, they're closing their doors.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I agree.
And they're
No,
punishing
I
the
think
people
it's
that are
ridiculous.
putting their livelihood on the line
Yeah.
to be a business owner and create jobs for these people. I have 30 employees. What do you guys have?
16, 17, something
Okay.
like that.
Less
Right.
than 25 for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
less
I
than
understand
25.
that. Yeah, you save the 50 cents, right? Is that
Yeah.
fair that you save
Yeah.
50 fucking cents? Is
Yeah,
that- I
we're
mean,
on the lower scale.
Yeah, I'm not.
We'll
Okay,
get
so
there, though. We'll catch up.
You're going to eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, if you keep growing. But the problem is they don't understand that the price that they put on that, all that's going to happen for me, right? I'm going to cut jobs. I'm going to cut jobs, and leeways are going to go up,
And raise prices.
and prices are going to go up. It doesn't mean that I'm going to create more jobs by going, oh, you know, you guys probably don't have any high school kids. I have multiple high school kids. Do I think a high school kid should be making the same amount as a starting job for a federal minimum wage that they're trying to accommodate a apartment with a two family, you know?
Yeah.
That's not fair.
And
It's
some
not
jobs are tipped.
It's not fair. And
You
a
know,
tip thing.
You start factoring in tips. That's a whole different deal.
I think that's a better argument of what I would change is they need to factor in tips
Yeah.
as far as
We also live in California. Let's
Yeah.
premise
Yeah.
that because there's a lot of states you go to. Nevada, you make $3 an hour,
Okay,
or
so-
whatever it is.
Right,
So-
but it's tip adjusted.
It's tip adjusted. Yeah, if you have a
Right.
bad day, you get tip adjusted up to $10 an hour,
Right.
whatever it is, and that's
Right.
fair.
Right, there's a minimum you have to
Yeah,
make.
there's a fair. That's
There's a minimum you have to leave with.
So okay, let me jump into this. I don't necessarily like minimum wage going up. I don't, you know.
I'm sorry, Ibo. I want you to. What is it now in California?
$12 an hour.
Okay.
$11.50 for you guys.
$11.50 for us.
Yeah,
That's all I wanna
It depends
ask.
on the amount.
It's
of
been on the
employees.
amount of employees.
We end up at
Got it.
15, just
Okay.
like they do.
Yeah,
They do sooner than us because they have more than
with comp.
Yeah.
Yeah,
25
workman comp.
employees.
Okay.
Workman comps and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Ibo.
So,
I was
oh no, you're good.
curious.
So I agree with a lot of what you're saying. To me, minimum wage is not it's not supposed to be a livable wage. Those are two totally different things. Like, there's certain industries and things that should provide a livable wage, right? If you're working for a big corporation or whatever it may be, somehow we define that. But I will say, as a business owner, I'm not afraid of minimum wage going up. In fact, I kind of like it. Because here's my thought. And
That's my business partner, by the way.
you kind of touched on it, and I don't want to sound like too much of an asshole, because I do think that people that are working jobs that should be a livable wage should get a livable wage. Like, I agree with that. But the high school kid that washes our dishes should not have to fall under that livable wage umbrella. So here's my thought: is when minimum wage goes up, the people that it hurts the most is not the business owners. In fact, who it benefits the most, in my mind, is the business owners. Who it hurts the most is the people that are on minimum wage.
The people that are just above minimum wage.
Whoever it may be, anyone there. And the biggest thing that I have against what you said is I wouldn't want certain corporations to have a higher. I get like the one little break between the amount of employees. I get that.
Amazon, Google.
But as far as
over-
like big breaks between minimum wage, I don't agree with that, because I think that will cause more issues than good. And here's my thought: when minimum wage goes up, all prices go up,
Yep.
and it just across
Across the board.
So yeah, okay.
That means a keg of beer. That
Food
means a head of
prices,
lettuce.
yeah,
Everything.
everything.
every
Which people don't think that way.
every single
Everything.
thing.
Every excuse. Everything.
Surcharges.
Bomb.
Insurance, everything. So
Everything.
my point is that okay, great, you feel better. You're not making $11 an hour. You're making 15. Great. All right, you get the pat on the back, and your grandma's proud of you. But guess what? Everything else went up.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't want that.
So you're still behind that much.
You're still
It's a sliding scale.
I mean, yeah, from a proportion standpoint, you still are where you are. Now, guess what? As a business owner, which I am, what I'm going to do is I'm going to charge 50 cents more per beer. And I know that in my mind, I need to sell on average 10 beers per hour to cover my labor. But you know what else I can also justify? I can raise every burger by $1. And you know everything else that I can justify? I can sell every t-shirt for $3 more. And then I can start charging for ranch, and I can do all these different things. And guess
3% surcharge.
And guess who proportionally makes more money?
You do.
I do. Okay, so tell
And
me
guess who loses?
the minimum wage
Consumer.
people.
Consumer.
Because the burger that they used to buy for
Bobby, they used to
$11
flip burgers.
is now $15, and that was an hour's worth of work for them. But guess what? I made, because of that, 30% more this year. And so for me, raise the minimum wage to $20. I don't care. I can't wait. Bring it on.
So I got
Yeah, but-
I got a weird, just little, not tangent, but an idea. So, let's say taking in your idea of companies that are above X percent pay grade or X amount of revenue a year.
Yeah.
And then you take that idea. Now all of a sudden, in my mind, when you guys were talking through that, the first thing I thought of was all we're doing is creating monopolies, because the small businesses that used to sell burgers, guess who can sell them for cheaper? McDonald's, Jack in the Box, whoever it is. Where's all the money going to go? When people have less money to spend, less income, they're going to go to the cheaper places. So now you're just building up these already substantially large businesses, and you're just creating a better revenue flow.
that's what
for
Yeah,
them.
because they're going to kiosks.
That's what I was just going to say. McDonald's.
That's a whole nother thing.
And
McDonald's was the big one. The workers were the ones who were like, we need to have living wage,
That's
and they
exactly
went, and they went,
that- that's
okay,
where-
you want to fuck with us?
machine.
We're gonna make a machine.
Machine.
And you know who can't afford to make a machine? You and I.
But, okay, but also, Tybo, everything that you said is true. Everything you guys
Yeah,
are
you're
saying
right.
is true, but that's already happening now. Okay.
Automation.
A burger,
No,
McDonald's
for sure.
McDonald's has been able to produce a better burger than us, a one single unit family owned place,
I wouldn't say better, but more
forever.
quick.
A quicker,
Yeah,
a less expensive option.
yes.
Right, and so
yes.
that plays into a whole nother thing. That gets into healthcare. That gets into poverty. That gets into a lot of different things. But my point is it's all proportional. It'll all be proportional. Money is a facade. Okay,
It's all relative.
a $1 bill is a piece of paper that you and I have all agreed
Agreed
on.
that it's worth this.
4
but
quarters.
it's backed.
Yeah.
By fucking who?
I mean,
What'd you just
it's
say?
not like Bitcoin.
It's backed by our federal government.
It's backed by a Federal Reserve. I mean, technically,
that, and
if that's the idea,
that's the idea.
that's
but
the
come on.
idea. No, I mean, well, I mean, a
I
gold
mean,
bar is a gold bar.
I see what you're saying, but my only point on the minimum wage thing is it's all proportional. And as a business owner, I'm not afraid of it. In fact, I would.
But the problem,
Appreciate it.
so let's
Yeah, but-
let me fight back you on that for a little bit. Okay, so the guy that so say you go from $10 to $12 an hour, right? Right, like 20% raise. Right? Let's just say
Yeah.
20% raise. You know who's not getting a 20% raise? A guy like Tybo, who works for a big corporation who makes great money, right? Is he gonna get that 20%?
I wouldn't say great.
Well, I mean, okay. Well, I mean, in
No,
comparison,
that's a good example.
You know what I'm saying?
Decent.
I mean, there's guys that
You-
were kicking
Okay,
ass
so
making 15.
let's just
Now
say-
all of a
let's just-
sudden, by law,
no, let's just
everybody
say-
else is making.
Let's
15.
just say you're making 50 grand a year. What's that? 22, 50, $25 an hour, right? Something like that. If you break it down,
Are you good?
Right?
Yeah, math. That's pretty good.
pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Okay, so say you're making that money. You're already above that, right? So you get a 20% raise down here. You're not going to get that 20% raise. So the middle guy who's already established is not going to get that same raise. So that dollar, so say you go $15 on a hamburger, right? That's going to affect them a little bit. It's going to affect him a lot
Yeah, I'm
because
going to
he's
Mickey
not going to
D's.
get that raise.
Yeah, I'm going to Mickey D's.
He's not getting the 20% raise because they go, you're already successful, you're above the poverty line, you're this. TaylorMade's not going out and handing 20% raises to him because
No, why would they?
you gave a raise to the only person that's getting hurt is somebody in the middle who they go, okay, so same thing with me. I charge, $25 for a pizza, whatever it is. I go up to 30, right? I go up to 30. The guy who gets $15 an hour goes, okay, I got to work 2 hours to get a large pizza. He goes, fuck, I was just paying 20. I'm going up 30%. I didn't get a raise. I'm just the normal guy that's in between.
Okay.
That's the only guy that's gonna get fucked.
Well, that's
Okay.
causing us as owners.
So-
We have a guy that was making 15,
and that's the clientele I want.
Wait.
Versus a guy who's making 10. Now all of a sudden, by law, he gets bumped to 15. Now that chef is making 15. He's looking at us like,
The fuck is
okay.
this?
So now the logical thing that we're forced to do, we got to
That's-
bump him.
that's what I was saying. The people that are getting
that's
hurt
a
are-
sliding
yeah.
scale. One thing people forget is that most of us has gone from $10 an hour to 15, right? So that's a
That's the
33%.
idea. That's the idea.
Yeah, that's a 33% increase
Yep.
just in salaries. Okay.
Yeah.
So our payroll's going up 33%. What does that mean? That means our workers' comp is going up 33% also,
Okay, but
which people, really totally forget.
No,
Yeah, if you pay somebody $20 an hour, you're really paying them 35.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay, let me. Just go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, no, I was gonna say that a quick little example is like in the line cooks. You got Billy that can flip 100 burgers in an hour, and you got little Bobby that can do 50 burgers in an hour
in the same time.
right?
Yeah.
Billy's gonna get promoted because he can kick ass anyway. So just by attrition, he's gonna get moved up, and he's gonna make more. But Bobby that struggles at 50, which we pay him his $10. Now he's at 15. Now
He's not viable.
mathematically, he's out of a job.
Yeah. Because
He's
I'll
done.
I'll
Okay,
take Billy.
So the guys that aren't as skilled, maybe, but can still contribute. But now they just can't
Is this
mathematically survive.
Is this a weird? I don't really agree with this. I'm just posing the question. This feels like a weird form of socialism in a sense, where everyone
is.
should be able to get the same bar minimum.
Well-
Like no. Now, all right. Let me phrase this a different way. How many of you guys had a minimum wage job growing up?
575.
Yeah,
310.
I'm not that old, but I had a minimum. wage.
575.
Right.
I got a raise the first week.
We had one together.
Yeah. Where did
Uncle
you
Bob
work
might
at
have given
anywhere
it to me.
before that in high school, or did you do that through high school?
No, the only thing I did was deliver pizzas at different stadiums before I
Yeah.
came to
And
But-
so when I go in, and Rybo and I went in when we worked together, we go, hey man, we're making $15. Let's take tips out of it. Let's just totally forget that was the thing. Is that really fair to the guy that, let's say, maybe not a manager, but a person that works tougher hours, 8-hour shifts,
More
to be
responsibility.
more responsibility that comes with that. Those guys were making 15 before we did. Now all of a sudden we get paid 15, and then those guys go, what the fuck, dude? I'm here the entire time.
That was kind of my point.
So
as
then
I
what
was
does
saying,
the
the
owner
guy
have to do?
the guy gets hurt. The guy that gets hurt is the guy that just makes a little bit more minimum wage.
And
Okay,
who do you?
so
that
let-
work.
The
that
owner
work for
does,
that.
because the owner's
Yeah.
relatively got to bring it up.
No, the owner doesn't get hurt at all. The owner benefits from all this. Let me
That's
out.
not
Let,
fair.
let,
All right,
yes,
I
no,
wanna
it
hear it.
does. Let me outline this.
Yeah.
Okay. So, a lot of times when people talk about society, we got lower income, middle income, and upper income. I like to look at it as like your standard employee, like minimum wage employee,
50 grand a year.
manager, and owner. I'm not even going to put a number to it, okay? So let's just call it employee.
But I think it's fair with the $15 an hour to put a number on it.
You can put whatever number you want onto it. but
Freshman JV varsity.
Where I'm going with it, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
It's more of a concept.
I got you.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we have employees, managers, business owners. Let's just say minimum wage goes up. Okay. So the employees, they get a raise. The managers don't, because the business owners have to pay all these employees more, and it's just natural. The managers who get paid the most, their hours are cut. Employees do to a certain extent as well, but proportionally, the business owner is going to make more money. Okay, and so what happens is, and this is a microcosm of our economy and society as a whole, is the
Sound like a Volkswagen.
yeah, right. The employee
Throwback.
is promised something, which is something that the left does, is they promise this foo-foo butterfly bullshit that doesn't work. The right does to some extent too, but as far as minimum wage, it's like kind of been their thing since ghettos. And what hurt, so that encroaches on the managers, a la the middle class. But who thrives more? the business owner. Because the business owner, like I said earlier, can charge more for a pizza, a beer, a this, a that, and we
I
can
agree with-
justify it.
I
And-
agree with that.
And so the middle class becomes smaller and smaller, and that has happened over the past 30 years.
But that's a problem. That's what I'm trying to
That's
fight
what
back on.
I agree.
I'm fighting back on that.
I agree with that.
I would
So,
fight back on that a lot. Yeah.
I'm not saying that I want the minimum wage to go up. All I'm saying is, as a business owner, I'm not afraid for it,
Cameron,
yeah,
and
but-
that's the problem with the whole. That's the problem with people pushing the minimum wage going up, because it doesn't help the middle class.
right,
It doesn't
so
help the
I agree.
lower.
That's
Cameron,
kind
Cameron,
of where I'm getting at. Go ahead.
I kinda
Go
wanna
ahead.
do
Go
this.
ahead. Yeah.
Because I have a good job. I have employees under me. I'm a supervisor at a very large company. Okay? So when you start raising, I don't make an absurd amount of money. I make enough money to be comfortable. But at the same time, I don't make enough money to realistically rent my own apartment as a single male in Temecula, Chula Vista, anywhere closer to my work, as it is right now. So now you're going to start charging me more money. Okay.
For your everyday things,
For
milk,
my-
eggs,
That's to my point.
bread, everything.
Everyday thing. And you know what? To squeeze out the middle class is I can't agree with that, because if I just did the math, if a guy's making $15 an hour, let's say he's only working 5 days a week, every day of the week,
28
he's,
grand a month.
he's
or
making
28 grand a year.
$29,000 a year prior to tax. Okay?
Okay.
When I started my job, I was making. I made
40
10
grand.
I made 10 grand more than that. Yeah,
40 grand a year.
yeah. I was making 40 grand a year.
So if you just look at it, 20
Okay.
bucks an hour, 40 hours a year, that's 40 grand.
I'm already squeezed right now, bro.
Right.
I'm squeezed as it is. I am still living in a place where I can find cheap rent with a good place, commuting an hour and 15, and that is still not enough for me to save enough money legitimately.
So what's the point though?
The point is the
You're
middle
pushing him out.
The middle class is
That's
already.
my. That's my
but
whole point.
We're already being pushed out as it is.
Yeah,
Why-
you're saying we can just raise
We're being pushed
raise
out as it
prices.
is.
But the raising the prices is only going to
Raising
hurt
the
the people that
prices.
you want to come in here.
That's my whole point.
I would no longer.
You want those
Yeah, but the problem
customers.
is you're gonna price them out.
You're going to price them out of it.
I'm
like
no
at a
longer.
pizza parlor, like
I am
Cameron's
going to
Pizza.
I am going to McDonald's every night from that point on.
Exactly.
I'm-
They're
I'm-
gonna not get stadium pizzas. They're
But
gonna go
McDonald's,
there and get
McDonald's
Caesars.
Little
po-
Caesars, yeah.
My
Little
point
Caesars.
is it's all proportional. Okay, so right now you can get
There's a maximum. Though.
you can get a McDonald's burger for $4. Well, that might go up $1 to $5.
Why
And-
would it? They have machines.
It's an
well,
excuse.
They're not paying
It's a
for
qu-
the
it-
extra.
That's an
But
excuse.
even at that, but even
That's
at
an
that,
opportunity.
even at that 20% raise, right? $5, you go, I could do $5.
Yeah.
Maybe
But
I'm
it-
not going to go to $20 though,
Hell no.
which is where we're priced
Okay,
into.
so
I'm not
my,
gonna
my,
do a
We're
my,
$10
my,
okay, so-
my point is my
I'm
point
not doing
is,
a $10
my
slugger.
point is
No
my
way.
point my
No
point
way.
is
I got you, baby girl.
my point is proportionally in society prices will go up. That's just natural mathematics.
Understand
but
that.
My point is that say minimum wage goes up 20%, business owners are going to find a way to make 25 more percent. And
the businesses will.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's my
this
point.
this is my this
I
is
won't.
this is,
I
this
don't.
This
I
is why
know,
this
and
is
that's the problem is you're middle class
this
America.
is this is
So
why
now
this is
I'm-
on my
now
list.
you're gonna
That's
say-
owner and consumer.
Now you're gonna tell me I'm
As a
going to be
consumer.
relegated to the lower class if I want to continue to eat at your
He's
establishment,
gonna
which
go to
I would
McDonald's
say
and
no
not
way.
Bob's for a burger.
No way. I would never go to your establishment if
I
I
don't
was
know.
paying that much
can
more.
can I just throw
I
this
don't
out
know,
here
because it's
I,
all going to be proportional.
I don't know.
It is what it is now.
What's the definition or what's the purpose of minimum wage?
For
To
a
make
long
people feel
for,
better
for
about
a
What's the
long
goal
well
of
the
minimum
new
wage?
the new or the old.
That's a
the
great
old was
question.
a minimum
No,
wage.
today.
The old
Today.
was
What-
no.
what-
Okay,
really,
today
what's
today
the
is a
purpose?
living wage, which is an absurd idea.
It's different, right? Though.
Well, back in the day, it was so you didn't get priced out by hiring illegals. You
It's
didn't
a-
get priced out. You didn't.
okay, so
you-
why is it by wages and not like rent control?
It's a
and shit
political
like that?
pawn. It's a political pawn.
It is a- the
It's to
exact-
make people feel better about
It is,
themselves, and that's
absolutely.
my whole point. Is it's not effective. There's better ways that we can help people that are on the lower to lower end of the scale
give them
feel
skills.
comfortable in America.
Give them skills.
Rent control, different things like that, like healthier
The
meals
fact that you
available
just,
to them,
the fact
better
that you
health
just said,
care.
the fact that you just said it makes them more comfortable is really they hit a wrong chord with me because I worked hard to learn the skills that I learned, and I put a lot of time and effort, and I paid money going to college, learning those skills to
2 years
to get that job.
to make more money to where I can just scrape by right now.
I'm not talking about you though.
But by raising the minimum wage, now all of a sudden
let me go.
we are very even though I have way more skills than the next guy. And guess what? That bigger company is not going to give me a pay raise because
So you don't want to raise the minimum wage.
No.
Okay, I
no.
agree with that.
Yeah,
Okay.
no.
I
Let me-
agree with
let
that.
me-
I'm
let
just
me-
saying that it's not what everyone thinks
It's
it
not
is.
detrimental to you. You're
No.
taking a personal stance on it.
Right.
Me this is why this is on my list, because in general, I'm going to look out for the middle class man because they're being pushed out more than anybody. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, and
Would you say that they're the backbone of this country,
correct?
right? They're
Oh.
the people that put butts in your seats.
Always.
Always. You know who's not going to come here when you raise the prices 30%? A guy who's making $15 an hour who doesn't come here right now.
Okay, so what do I lose if he's not already coming here?
The people that
Me.
are already coming here,
Guys like me.
they're not going to come here.
But it's all proportional. Okay, so let's just say this. Okay, so it is. Let's just say a.
I didn't understand.
I see where you're coming from.
I didn't understand what you just said.
It's
It didn't
all
make sense.
proportional.
It is
Me?
proportional.
Yeah.
It is proportional. You're going to do, instead
Yeah.
of 150 orders, you're going to do 100 orders, but you're going to go 30% higher. I understand that.
No. That's not what I'm saying at all.
Because you're going to have less clientele.
No, that's
what's,
not what I'm saying
What are you
at
saying,
all.
Rybo?
You're
What
gonna
is-
have
what
less
are you
clientele.
saying? Ryan, what are you saying?
That's not what I'm saying at all. Say, for easy talking purposes, this
Yeah,
is obviously
yeah,
not
yeah.
what it is right now.
Yeah.
Say a burger at McDonald's is $10, okay, and a burger here is $20,
Yep.
okay. We're doing well. People are coming here. Blue collar mainly people are
You
coming.
are assuming
That's the
they're
way it
coming
is
here.
before we changed.
You're
the minimum
assuming
wage in.
you're assuming they're coming here still after, right?
No, I'm saying
No.
right now.
Oh, right now.
Right
Okay.
now, before we change it, that's the way it is.
I changed the prices for easy math.
No. I
because
got
it's a
you.
little
I got
hard.
you.
Boom, boom.
Thank you, Missy.
Thank you.
You're the best, Missy. Thank you.
You're talking current. Okay, then
You got
the
cam
change
on?
happens.
Just
I
assume it
gotcha.
is. It is what it is. You know
Okay.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, and then we got it, Uncle Bob. Okay, say minimum wage goes up. Just we're talking perfect math,
Missing
and I
that
understand
number
there's
one.
a lot of-
30%.
Focus up, guys. I know
Gotcha.
there's a lot
I got you.
of moving
Yeah,
parts.
I got you.
But minimum wage goes up 30%.
Okay.
Now all of a sudden that burger at McDonald's is
13.
$13.
Yours is 3 times 2, 6, 26 bucks.
$26. We're not losing any clientele.
You will.
No, we won't, because everything will theoretically go up. So here's my point.
Yeah.
Is that
You're very optimistic.
well, no.
No,
Let's
I
just
think
hold
what
on,
he's
hold
saying
on,
is
hold on, hold
let
on,
him
hold
speak
on,
his
hold
piece.
on,
I want to
hold
hear him
on.
speak his piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the managers, the whatever, not all of them are going to get raises. Some of them are going to get their hours cut, but for the most part, it's going to go up proportionally. For the most part, and my point is,
I don't think so.
Hold on.
I think it will. My point is that as a business owner, I can charge 30% more on a burger, 30% more on a beer. I can charge for ranch.
Thank you,
I can
Missy.
charge for this. I can. So where
Thanks, honey.
where a minimum wage person only gets a 30% raise in their income, a middle class, and I'm middle class by the way. I'm just talking in.
No.
That's why I
hear-
like to say
hear ya.
employee, manager, owner.
I hear you.
They get a 30% raise. Let's just say, I can justifiably the way society looks at it, I can raise 30% on a bunch of different income outlets here, and
Absolutely.
at the end of the day, I don't lose 30%. I don't make 30%. I make 40 to 50% more, and that's my point. Is like it's just this facade to make people feel better. I mean, minimum wage used to be $4, and now it's at 11, and we're
But
all
a
still
burger
fine.
used to be $5.
Okay, but we're all still fine. You're still alive.
Who's
I'm
fine,
still,
though?
All of us.
So,
Us 4.
so Rybo, can I say this? That
This is a pretty good
He
microcosm.
would. He was
that the
just saying.
clientele that goes to Cameron's Pizza, right? All right, right now, if you just take a snapshot, they have an opportunity to go to Little Caesars and pay 25% less than what it is over
Shit, it's more than that.
at
Yeah.
Cameron's, right?
50%.
Okay, but I think if I understand what you're saying is when we have this minimum wage change, those same people are going to go to Cameron's Pizza Parlor. The guys are going to end up going to the guys that get more money, or end up going to go to Caesar's, Little Caesar's, maybe
Give me a $7
twice more often.
Give me a $7 hot and ready.
Is that right? Twice more often?
Give me a $7 hot
not
and
go
ready
there.
over the $30 pizza at Cameron's place.
No, but my point is people are already doing it.
The
That's what he's saying.
No, I understand that. People are
You-
doing
you-
it right now.
You can go to In-N-Out right now and get a $6 burger. You can go to Uncle Bob's and get a $12 burger. Okay? You can go his place and get
I
a
could.
$20
But
pizza.
that's
and you
because-
get a $5 pizza.
I agree, Bob. I cannot agree more. But the problem is the price point is once it becomes higher for the guys who wages stay stagnant. That's going to be an issue.
I think there's a
But
breaking.
it'll
an issue.
naturally go.
No,
I think there's a breaking point.
It'll naturally go.
definitely lines.
But
to it.
I think there's a
how-
breaking
definitely
point.
breaking.
And again, I understand. I'm going to bring
Yeah.
this back. None of us have the fucking ideas
No,
to
no.
shape the world.
No, but the guy
But
that
we're
gets that
discussing-
little minimum wage bump still can't go to his place. That's his point. They're just going to go to Little Caesars twice.
Here's my point is I don't care if the minimum wage stays the same or it goes up. I think it's mainly a political pawn, and it doesn't change.
I've seen it just in my own personal business that I've had people tell me like, "Hey man,
Wow,
if
this piece is
if
expensive.
this keeps going up, I'm gonna have to stop coming." And I've heard that multiple times.
This piece is expensive.
Understandably, but
Okay, so say somebody's on Social Security, right? An older person. You guys probably have older customers.
well,
you
that's
have
a dying breed. Social Security in general.
for
but
sure.
yeah.
I understand that, but those are still clients. Those are still customers.
I get it, but
You're gonna price those people out. Eventually, you're gonna price people out.
at the end of the day, the market doesn't lie. The market is what the market is, and you get what you get. And if you have to lower your prices to get what you get, you do it. But all I'm saying is, at the end of the day, who it hurts the most when the minimum
Small
wage goes up
businesses.
is the middle class.
Yeah,
Without-
absolutely.
yes.
That's why this made my list, because that's who I'm looking out for.
Okay, but
Because that's who I would say in
It hurts
general
the mom and
at,
pop
at
operation.
my personal standing in life right now, most of the people are surrounded by are middle class. Sure, I have some upper class, I
Proud
have some
of it.
lower class, but
Proud of it.
I think everybody's right there,
best place to
fighting in the middle. And everybody, you're a teacher. You're
It's that middle aisle.
Okay, so say you're a teacher and you're making, X amount of dollars. You're not going to get a 20% raise, obviously, but
theoretically not. Yeah.
you're not in the realm of the minimum wage fight.
So
So you're not
You're
going to
gun
get
shy
there.
because you don't want to ask for any more money for your pizzas.
I gotta pee.
It's
I
hard.
get it.
Let's
It's
figure out the next
hard.
topic.
Your
It's a-
pizza's expensive.
yeah,
it's-
I was about to
I
segue.
I would say I definitely have an
Yeah,
expensive
we got a lot more.
product.
All right, gentlemen.
I have a great product,
What?
but I have an expensive product for sure.
Yeah.
That's a good
But
product.
it's just like anything. You can buy a Hyundai or you can buy a Lexus.
You go to Costco and get a frozen pizza for
Exactly.
$2.
Yeah, you can.
And feed 2 families.
You absolutely can.
Go for it.
Wait,
You
wait,
are
wait.
you
Hold
are
on.
right.
I have a question.
That's not the
I
experience.
have a question. How much does a Lexus cost per hour?
Alexis.
Oh,
I could probably figure it out.
A what?
$600 a month, or
Alexis.
$700 a month, whatever it is.
Okay, never mind. That joke went over your head.
Oh,
I'm just saying the thing that really pisses me off as a business owner is like the front of the house, the server. They were happier in hell to get $10 an hour.
they're making $30,
'Cause
$35 an hour.
They crank on
On
tips.
tips. On tips.
They're here for tips. They're not here for their hourly wage.
Oh.
And I got to turn around and give them $5 more. I got to turn around and pay 33% more on my workers' comp, so they can make crushing money on tips.
Okay, we can.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
that
no
sucks.
offense, Bob. Bob, if we get into the tips thing, we're
No.
gonna be here all.
No, we can-
fucking
we-
night.
No,
Okay,
I'm
I'll-
just saying that.
But I agree with you.
That there shouldn't be
I
a
totally agree.
universal to
A
Cam's
take-home.
point. There's a
Nevada.
big difference between New York and West Virginia.
I,
or-
I will
or
end it at
Frisco,
this.
Texas.
And Ribo's not here to listen to it. He's taking a piss, but I will end it at this.
Well, he's coming
I
back.
am
Here he comes.
100% looking out for the middleman.
Absolutely.
And that's why it made my list.
Yeah, I hate
and we
corporations and
could end
franchises.
it.
We're the same way.
We could end it at that. I'm 100% looking out for the
Oh
middleman.
man,
Now,
It's gonna be a
That's-
long
that's-
night. We're
yeah.
only on one.
Yeah.
no, we've.
No, I mean we.
I feel like we knocked down 2 toxic
Yeah.
and
Thank
2
God
party
some
system.
of them kind of
2-party system.
Yeah.
We kind of knocked that out.
kind of go
But-
cross pollinate here.
The next one I
Um,
think it plays pretty close to this is schooling,
Prostitution.
financial
Oh,
responsibility.
going to school. Schooling.
God bless them.
If you want to do prostitution,
No.
I'm all about it.
It's risky business.
It is risky business just because
Being a business owner in a small town.
human trafficking is the only problem I have with it.
All right, well, let's go to. What do you want to go to? Schools?
Yeah, I was thinking because
Whose is it? Because I have a
All
system
three of you
over
have
here.
it, and
We
I had
all
it,
have it
and I had
also.
it, and I had it as my honorable mention that school needed to be reformed.
All right, mine was just cut it in half.
yeah, and I got
Because
problems
you're-
with that.
So do
Okay,
I.
well,
I-
all right. Well, let's just talk. Let me just say, the freshman and sophomore year. Now, when I went, this is a long time ago, and I don't think it's really changed, but it was an extenuation. It was 13th and 14th grade of high school. I'm taking Algebra 1 again, as though I didn't learn it the first time around.
Mm-hmm.
English 101, as though I didn't learn to write the first time around.
Yep.
You know, psychology and yada yada yada. Why are we retaking all this bullshit?
Money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
money is exactly it.
I
and
would
that's why I have a
totally-
problem with it.
I would totally disagree with
You
that.
don't have to be so close to Mike.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm so
I
emotional.
would totally disagree with what the 3 of you just
Okay, so
said.
you guys all 3 have college degrees, right?
So Algebra 1, you need to
Unfortunately.
retake?
Right?
I didn't need
Pardon
to
me?
retake Algebra 1.
I have a
let me
40
just
degree,
let me
yes.
just tell you the outside looking in. When I was younger,
Why are you the outside?
because you guys all 3 have college degrees.
Oh.
I'm the outside looking in. When I was younger, I looked outside and I go, for the 4 years that I could be going to school, I could be building a, more or less for the word, empire.
A portfolio.
A portfolio. A portfolio
Say that
of
again.
my own skills. More or less just going, I can better myself for the next 4 years, whereas somebody going in is going to come out with a house debt. Not necessarily all 3 of you, but it's a lot of debt for a lot of people,
It's
Right?
pretty close to a house debt.
It's a
if
house
you're-
debt.
If you're
Okay.
not, if you don't, yeah,
right? You know what I'm
scholarships.
saying, right?
Hundreds of thousands.
Okay, so
of
let's
dollars.
just
Can't
put
be.
this in perspective, right? I bought my house when I was 20 years old. You know how I was able to do that? Because I busted my fucking ass
'Cause you're good looking.
while people were in college. Not saying that that's the right way to go. I had just a conversation with my daughter the other day. I was in the car and she goes, "Hey, Mom said you skipped college."
Whoa.
No, and she said it. She's
Damn.
6 years old, and I said,
That's a good call.
"No."
Good
And
for you.
and I
Good call, Al.
if it was me, I'm pushing my daughter to go to college, for sure. Just because you have more opportunities. I don't know if you do anymore, but you have more opportunities. When I was younger, I looked at it from the opposite way. I was already making money. I was doing other things to make money, and I went, I just want to keep making money.
Well, yeah, that's a
He
huge
was a
caveat
hey,
to
for the
your
audience. He was a professional paintball.
Yeah.
Okay, but
All thrown.
but
all
I
over
was
the world.
also looking at it in the way of going, what benefit is this gonna am I gonna get to where I can go into a workplace and maybe I'm a harder worker than the next, but I can bust my ass and I can prove that I'm better than all these people and make my way that way. And like I said before, I want my daughter to go to college. I want her to have the opportunities to do that. I think it's a good experience. I didn't get to experience the whole college experience, but like I said, I bought my house at 20. I'm a little bit ahead of the game.
But Cam, you also have to understand how much of an outlier you are to be able to buy a house at 20. in
Based on hard
California.
work.
Granted, yes, but all right, let's take a guy like me. I am
a
not
Buckeye.
But you come from a college family. I didn't come from that.
That's not my point. That's not my point at all. My point is the fact that you were able to make a living. When was the first time you flew first class?
Pretty young.
How young?
Pretty young.
How young?
My teens.
I have never.
13, 14?
In my teens.
Neither have I.
I've
in my-
never.
16?
In my teens.
You get peanuts at first. Yeah.
So not that you're a part of a lavish lifestyle, but you had seen those things. You had you had the money to be able to do those kind of things.
I didn't pay for those.
I understand that, Cameron.
That's how smart you are.
Cameron, but that's my point. Guys like me, who's just honestly, probably 99% of Americans, you go, okay, the way that the American system has portrayed the ideology, lack of
American
better term,
dream, go to college,
white
get a
picket
job.
fence,
Yeah.
white picket fence, you go to you go to college, you do this. The whole reason I vehemently, no offense, Bob, I disagree with that is because the 2 years as opposed to 4 is most kids when they go to college, they don't know what the fuck they want to do.
That's true.
They don't know. So to put them on a 2-year little shelf and ask them to go, all right, do you want to be in business? Are you sure? Because you're locked in for 2 years. And the kid goes, oh my God, I'm not very good at this. And I say that out of personal experience. I went into college, going into business. Wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. I go in for a year. I took a, lack of a better term, there's 1, 2, 3 courses for math. There's the lower grade and the higher grade for finance. I took the lower grade. The third quarter, I failed. And I studied harder than I've ever studied in my life. And guess what? After that, if you give me 2 years, at that point, I'm 1 year down. So I got to stick with that. I knew that's what I wanted to do, but I realized that there were a lot of people that were way more intelligent and
Math intelligent.
Well,
that one specific thing that you're asking a person to do in 2 years, at 18, you don't know. You just don't know.
I'm not saying you have to. I'm just saying the system should allow you to.
I wrote down.
Okay. I should be Dr. Bob, to be honest with you. I changed majors. I didn't know what the flip I wanted to do. I went 6.5 years full time. I thought I was gonna play baseball for the first, pro baseball for the first couple years.
I wanted to be a cowboy.
And I changed majors. I lost 33 units of general ed.
But that's
just
part of my
stupid.
argument. That's part of my argument, Bob.
But I'm just saying, I think the system ought to be placed is that the norm should be, if you know what you want to do, you don't need to redo Algebra 1. You don't need to
You should be
redo
focused.
English. If you have that opportunity and you have that clarity in your life, then you go for it.
How do you feel about free
that degree?
How do you feel about like free community college type deal, where you can kind of
high school's already free.
Get your feet wet and go? I can take a business class. I can take a accounting class. I can take a history
Ryan,
class. I can take a.
Ryan, tell me. We know a lot of guys that go through I don't know what your college curriculum was like, so maybe it was the same way. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people take that route now. Not free, but they'll go, I'll do MSJC for 2 years, save some money, and I will go to San Diego State.
That's what Ribo did. As a minimum, you should do that, I think.
So, okay, I'll be a pretty good example of how fucked up the system is, really.
That's my boy.
So I think that, let me first say this, and this would never ever happen, and there'd be so many cultural implications to this, but I personally think we should eliminate college completely as far as an educational thing. Maybe they turn it into semi-pro
schools.
Teams for sports reasons, because that's just, we can't get rid of that. That's too good.
I love that.
But I made money going to junior college. So I was in high school, busted my ass, got into a bunch of colleges. Luckily, ended up going to a junior college, mainly to play baseball because I couldn't play anywhere else. But I'm so grateful that I did. I saw all my friends going to a 4-year college, and it's emotional when you're a senior. You're like, this guy didn't work as hard, and he's going to U of A and having a great time, and blah blah blah, especially with social media. But I went to Palomar, and I made money literally made money because of grants, scholarships, not even like crazy scholarships where you had to write a bunch of weird essays. It was just like literally Pell Grants and federal grants.
You just apply.
And
This is middle white America too, by the way.
yeah, and so I paid the tuition, paid my books, and literally each semester had about $2,000 left over. And that's fucked up. There's no reason why that should be like that.
That is fucked up.
Right?
And that's my point. Like, why should you be getting grants and loans when
because
you're making money?
Well, that-
Well, truth be known, because Dad was unemployed.
But that's a different.
So there's that. But
Yeah.
my point is
True.
that those 2 years were a waste. I made money, but it was 2 years a waste of my time. In my mind, if you have,
Did you learn anything in those first 2 years?
I mean, you learn something every day if you have the right mindset.
Why was
I
it a
think
waste?
I think yeah. That's why I asked that question. You just said it was a waste. So what did you really learn?
To Cam's point, and I really liked Cam's point, was if you let me say this. Okay, so I went to a junior college for 2 years, and then I went to San Diego State for 2, graduated in total in 4.
Yep.
And San Diego State, I studied entrepreneurship, one of the better programs in the country, just based on whatever article you fucking read, whatever.
Yep.
For that, I still to this day say that if I was, not even that part, if I was in the real world, quote unquote, for 4 years, I'd be further along than I am now,
That was my.
having gone to college for 4 years. Was it a great experience? Was it fun? Socially? Absolutely. It was awesome. It was a great time of my life. And so there's something to be said for that. My point is that if the government, which is what most K through 12ers experience, is government schools, right? I mean, obviously there's private schools. But if the government has you for 13 years and can't prepare you for the real world, not even can't prepare you, can't even come fucking close to preparing you. Like,
That's a
I
great
would
segue.
say that 98% of kids don't even understand what an interest rate is.
That's
Coming
what I was just gonna
as a
say.
graduating
Interest rate,
senior.
credit cards.
that's absurd.
You should learn that in college.
You should learn that in high school.
That's my point.
Okay,
that
you
You
was
should learn
my,
that in high school.
But let's
That's
take it to the
mine.
next level.
That's the K through 12.
Kids don't understand leadership. Kids don't understand emotional intelligence. Like, let's take it to the next step. Like, if the government has you for 13 years other than your summer vacations, that tells me something
8
about our
hours a
government.
day.
That tells me something about our government, and that the whole system is completely messed up. We need new teachers. We need new curriculum.
I don't
We
think
need-
it's.
segue
I don't
is
think
K
it's.
through
I don't.
12.
I'm well. Okay, so I'll say it's some teachers, but I think a lot of the teachers
would
are handcuffed.
prefer,
Are
yeah.
handcuffed.
Oh, I agree with that.
They're
I agree with that.
handcuffed.
I agree with that, but I'm also saying that I'm not going to say the majority are well, they're all handcuffed.
They're
but
all handcuffed.
I would say that 4 out of 10 teachers are good teachers, and so we need better teachers, but mainly we need a better curriculum.
How do you get better
curriculum.
teachers?
How are they
You
handcuffed?
pay them more,
Thank you.
but that's
good with that.
But
How
that's,
are they handcuffed?
Curriculum.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, it's curriculum.
Curriculum. They're forced to teach something that
It's bullshit.
I mean, I took classes in high school that are like, what the fuck do I need to know about Beowulf?
Yeah, but
Why
they
do I
can't-
need-
They can't sneak a day and do simple interest.
Why is calculus still even a semester-long course?
I agree. Calculus does nothing.
We should teach addition, subtraction, division, multiplication, and how to balance
Percentages
a checkbook.
and interest. Yeah.
Do
I
you-
agree.
Okay, so there was a class when I was in high school. I don't know if it was in your guys' high school. It was called Consumer Math. It was an elective. You had to take it as an elective. It was called Consumer Math. Way to go, guys.
Those are Missy's kids.
It was called
I
Consumer
got
Math,
nothing to
and
say
it
on
literally was a class on how interest rate worked, how credit cards work, how compound interest works, how buying a car works, how all these other things work. I took that as a senior in high school.
Why did they get rid of that?
I have no idea. That was-
You took that in high school?
I took consumer math in high school, and it was. I mean, you go all the
That
way
should be
through.
mandatory. That should
You
be mandatory.
should know how a car interest rate works.
That is-
I was just buying a car recently. I went in, and I heard a guy over here. You know, I was just being a fly on the wall, listening to this guy talking, and I'm
We're
just
closing
like,
up at the bar. That's
Yeah.
why it's so loud.
Yeah, I was listening to a guy talking, and he's going, well, how much is my payment going to be per month, blah, blah, blah. And he's buying a Toyota Corolla, whatever it is, a $15,000 car. I don't know the exact amount. And he's saying numbers out loud and he's going, okay, $500 for 6 years, and I'm going, dude, I just want to grab him and go, don't do it. Don't
You know
do
what the
it.
interest rate on that is?
Don't do it, man. You're paying $45,000 for a $15,000 car. Just don't do it. He's like, well, I can afford $500 a month. You know, I got a decent job, and I'm just going. The whole time the guy's sitting with me, he's going, well, your payment's. I don't fucking care what the payment is. I don't care. What's the sale price of the car? I don't care what the payment is. The payment means nothing to me.
That's what I hate. But that's the first question they ask.
What
do you want to spend a month?
What are you comfortable with a month?
Yeah, I hate
because
that.
that's where they get you, dude. I'm
goddamn
telling you,
screw you.
$1,
dude,
Bob.
This fucking
$1, Bob.
Yeah, exactly.
this fucking fuck bag at Hemet, whatever it was. I was there. I was buying a car. He walks up. I'm a numbers guy. I've always been a numbers guy. I'm a math guy.
Dude, I'm a numbers guy, too.
That's how I work. I work in math. And he walks up and he goes, I told him before we started, this is how much I'm going to pay. This is how much it should be. Blah, blah, blah. Walks up. The number's different. I go, give me a printout. Give me a printout of what you're saying right now.
So
Comes walking up with the printout, sets it down, and I go, what's this right here?
It's different, right?
What's this right here? And he goes, well, that's this and this and this. I go, you know what, man? Fuck you. You're trying to fuck me around. I'm not the one. Like, I get it. There's this guy right here that you're gonna get. You're gonna get that guy. I'm not that fucking guy.
my big thing on this topic,
Wrong guy.
we started with 2 years versus 4 years, right?
I think a 2-year would have to be a trade school, though.
Well,
I'm okay with that.
but
And I
that's
think
that's part of my concept, guys.
Yeah,
is-
it's a trade
is,
school.
I think we need to promote trade schools more.
A force-fed 2 years of what you're gonna.
So kind of make them the same. Because a college degree these days is not near what it was when I graduated.
No,
So
not even close. I have.
it's a token. Go get your 2-year specialized 2 years.
Well, as a man
And
that,
you know, it may take you 3, may take you 4, whatever it may be.
as the only guy at the table, no offense, like, obviously, I love you 3.
Yeah.
I'm the only guy that went to a 4-year
Yeah.
university. Bob, I believe you did too, right? You did, right?
Not for 4 years. no.
Okay. So, a 4-year
But I
university.
should be Dr. Bob.
You should be Dr. Bob. I wish I could call you that. PhD Bob.
Just
But-
call me Uncle Bob. I'm cool.
All right, Uncle Bob works. But the problem with the 2-year versus 4 is most kids don't know what they want to do.
I understand
and they,
that point.
And they don't know what they're good at. Okay. Now, what college taught me, for me personally, was the fact that you are able to take different classes because you're forced to
Feel it out.
and feel it out
Yeah.
and find what you like. And if you don't like it, you don't ever take it again. If you don't like philosophy, don't take philosophy. If you don't like science, I mean, obviously science is a very science. Cheers.
Oh, that's true.
No, you're not going to take biochem if
Yeah.
you,
Yeah,
you
but
know,
the
if
thing
you're
is-
if you're not into it.
The
but
thing with that is that you're spending a lot of money to do
Yeah,
that
no
experience.
shit. No
I
shit.
would rather you
But-
go out and somebody say that they might want to be a veterinarian.
I don't want to be a veterinarian.
Don't go to college yet. Go try it. Ooh, I don't like blood, so I'm out. I'm not spending hundreds, thousands of dollar bill when I'm done.
Is-
Wait, hold on. I want to take
So
this.
tread
I'd
water
really like to
outside
take
of
this one.
college.
I'd really like to take this one because if I do that veterinarian job, what am I doing? Am I making money?
You're finding out what you like.
But am I making
Not-
money?
Huh?
Or am I spending money? If
you can
if
get a
you're-
job as
actually-
a vet. You can get
actually-
a job. as a
actually-
helping
can I get
out.
a job
Actually-
as an 18-year-old being a veterinarian?
Not a
Actually,
veterinarian,
no, yes.
but you can go into the field.
Yes, actually, you're making money.
How?
If you stay in college and tread water to figure out
But-
if you like veterinarian,
But
you're spending
all of a,
money.
all right, all of a sudden I don't like it. This isn't for me. Now what?
You're not
What,
50
out-
grand a year
out
into
as a
it.
job, you're not spending money in tuition.
Yeah, you're not 50
You're out
grand into
working.
it.
You're getting paid to figure out what you want to do. If you want to go into college,
Why
and
would
figure out,
why would any veterinarian hire me if I had zero
I'm
experience?
not saying you're going to be a veterinarian, but you can go
There's
and get a
ways to do
job
that.
and washing dogs to start.
Yeah,
And
there's
then you can work your
ways
way
to do
up
Am I,
and
that.
you
make,
could do.
am I making $15
I don't-
minimum wage or
I
like
don't
what?
think you guys are making a solid enough argument
No,
because
that's
Let me
Here comes Ryan. He's
hold
good
on,
at this.
hold on.
Ryan's good at clarity.
Hold on. I see where you guys are going, but Tyler's making a better point right now, and here's the difference. If there was a cultural change where there was no college, and it was understood that people could come in and they're like, hey, I want to get my feet wet, it is a way better way because they are making money, even if it is minimum wage, and they're not spending money
They're not
elsewhere
losing money.
by spending it on a course that's bullshit. Here's
Yep.
my other point is, out of the majority of people that get a 4-year degree that for the most part takes 6 years, another money-making machine, how many of those people actually use the degree that they got in the work that they did? I would say
That's what I was just going to
under
say.
20%.
That's what I was just going to say. So I have
I feel like you guys are
Doctors,
really
So
lawyers,
it,
and
it, it takes a
engineers.
cultural change. I agree with that, but
you're undercutting the fact that not
the
you, Rabo.
the exploratory.
You don't have that chance.
I understand that.
But
I
you
totally
don't
understand.
have that
Okay, let me
You don't have that
it
chance.
takes a cultural change. It
What
takes a
happens-
cultural
Why
change.
don't you have that chance?
I wanted to go in business. Is H&R? Do I work at H&R Block as a guy who's just filing papers? Is that my experience? I don't have any experience in finance.
Okay.
How could I ever get better at what I do?
But
if
that's
I'm not
also
in
that's
finance?
also changed with today's world. You can learn a lot off the internet. You can learn a lot off of YouTube. You can. I understand that real world experience is
Absolutely.
different, but nothing in college is real world experience.
I would totally disagree. I think
You have an
everything.
internship.
I think no. I call bullshit. I think the best thing about college is the fact that I got my job. I was not quote unquote qualified to hold that position.
But you had a piece of paper.
But I had a piece of paper, and they knew that, hey, this guy could probably figure it out. How else do you know how do you differentiate a guy like me versus some random guy that goes, oh,
That's part of my K through 12 reform.
operation seems cool.
let me ask you
Like,
this, though.
how's that
Yeah,
Okay,
work?
but
so-
no, wait. That guy,
Who do you hire?
operation guys,
Who do you hire?
it's not a matter of hiring. That guy,
That's how I
no.
get better. That's how I got better.
No,
at my
we're
job,
talking about what
by
do you end up
working.
majoring in. That's what we're talking about.
I'm saying eliminate.
I would say that
majoring.
your job,
cutting it out,
your
huh?
job, didn't matter what. I would say speciality or whatever degree you got you your job. The piece of paper that said Ohio State on it got you your job.
I would say, yeah, that's a
Okay,
big part of it.
So,
yeah,
but that's you. Okay, so if this
That's
is
most
maybe
of-
maybe this
that's
is maybe
most
this is
of
just
it.
maybe this
Yeah.
is just me.
That's definitely
maybe,
most.
Speak
Maybe this
closer,
is maybe
because
this is just
to Bob's point.
maybe
No, it is most.
maybe this is just me. I have a group of friends, 10, 12 deep. Almost all of my friends went and got a college degree, right? One went for business, one went for, this. Out of those 12, I would say I have one.
That finished it out.
No, not all of them finished. I had
What they started with,
what
they originally
what they got.
wanted to
I'm
do.
not saying what they started with. What they got a degree in. I would say two out of the people I know are using that degree in that
Field,
facet,
in that
field.
Well,
I have an
that's
engineer.
normal. That's
I got
normal.
Kyle.
That's
Kyle's an engineer, right?
That's normal.
And I have a teacher, which you can get a degree in anything. Okay, let's up that because I got a few teacher friends, right? I have 8 to 10 friends that have degrees. Electricians. You didn't go to fucking school to be an electrician. You wasted your money. I have other friends that are, went and spent ungodly amounts of money at private schools. They're hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. And they go, well, I got this piece of paper that says I got a degree. Yeah, but you're working as a server at a restaurant, and I'm not shitting on anybody who works at a restaurant. I work at a restaurant. You own a restaurant. We do all those things. But the majority of the people that come out and use their degree is probably a lot lower than the people that actually are not using their degree and going into different fields. And I understand what you're saying. I understand what the exploratory, I'm going to figure out what I like type thing, but at what cost? And
Yeah.
you had a good deal because you got a scholarship, you got things, you weren't $200,000 in debt.
No doubt. No,
That's a benefit to you. That's a
I
notch.
worked because I worked hard.
That's what I'm saying. That's a
I
notch.
worked
That's a
hard.
notch to you.
I worked
That's a
hard.
great thing for you to go and go. I got good grades. I know
was
I had
able to take
I
that.
had a good family life. Like I can tell you right now, you had a family where probably your mom and dad look at your grades and went blah blah blah. This is what it is. I don't think my mom looked at my report card once.
All right. So if we want to make it like a family thing,
It
to
is.
where, sure, that plays a part
It
in
is.
it. The same way that you were able to buy a house at 20 when you didn't have the family. So we could flip it the other way.
Exactly.
It doesn't.
That's what I'm
it doesn't
saying.
make a difference. So broad
Every person
generalizations.
to person is
That's a
going to
good
be
point.
different.
The broad generalizations really mean nothing, but like the fact that I did have a solid family life. My mom and my dad were on my ass to make sure because they knew my potential.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I'm pretty sure if my parents knew I was dumb as a rock, they wouldn't be like, "You have to get straight A's
You're gonna go
every
get a state
semester."
job. Yeah.
But they knew that as a high school kid, I had other things on my mind: pussy, drugs, whatever the fuck
Yeah.
it was. But to make a broad generalization is, for me, ridiculous. And my main point is the 2-year to 4-year. I think the ability to figure yourself out on your own is a big part of college.
Can you do that without college?
Yes, you can.
Without going into debt?
Of course you can.
That's my point.
That would be ridiculous to say you couldn't. But
Yeah.
the fact is that there are a lot of people that know, and I'm not saying I'm next Elon Musk, but I'm semi-bright. Like, I think I could figure my way out across the world.
But you can also, to attest to you, had you not gone to college, you would still be successful.
You could be in your position you're at.
I don't know.
I don't know about your exact position,
No.
but you would have figured
He
it
could
out.
handle his position.
I
He
would
might
say
not
no.
have been
You would
hired,
have figured it out.
I would say no.
I would say
because
that
I would
the
definitely
majority
not-
of my
I would definitely not have the job or the opportunities that may stem from this
opportunities,
job.
yes, opportunities.
That stem from this job going
Absolutely.
forward. No chance.
Opportunities are higher,
Zero chance.
right?
Zero
I would say
chance.
the majority of my friends, I'm a little bit older, for sure, but the majority of my friends that are successful, in my lane, are the guys that didn't go to college and put their fucking head down and figured it out. And I have some.
I know you have-
Nowadays, I have some pretty successful friends. I'm older now. I understand that, and you're gonna make your way.
Totally agree.
But most of my friends in that group, other than one, and he went to college. So that's a butt on the other end. My one friend that's the most successful out of anybody, he went to college for 6 years. He was an engineer, and he's gonna fucking ball out.
And
For
I guess
sure.
My main point is, like, you have guys that they know they are ridiculously smart, and they know their lane, for lack of a better term. A lot of college kids they don't know that. They
Most.
don't know. I would say 90% of kids that go into college, it might be overstatement, maybe 80, do not graduate with what they thought they were going to graduate
True.
in, their major.
Yeah.
They don't know.
Yeah,
they
but-
don't know.
But the flip side of that is once they graduate, they change jobs 5 times.
Well, that's a bad major. If
For
you're
a tear.
if you're a
I
history
mean, they
major,
can-
if you're a
be a
They
history
teacher.
change
major,
their career 5 different times.
Be a
after that.
teacher.
you're a teacher.
Be a
if you're
teacher.
if you're a history major,
kinda
you want to
goes-
be a teacher.
That kind of leads to my point.
But that's the kid's lack of awareness. I mean, if you go into
You never know.
I think you may be taking your personal experience
Yeah.
into.
no,
Were you all 4 years at Ohio State?
Yeah.
it took me 4.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I
the
think
first 2 years, your freshman and your sophomore year, was that more? Honestly, was that more of an extension of high school?
No, not at all. No.
What if
that,
you-
that
what
was a dick slap in the face. I was like, oh my god, this is.
I'm behind, or
There are a lot of people that are way smarter than me in this field that want to do this.
Yeah, but
and
what are the
I,
class? I'm talking about the curriculum.
Yeah, it was way harder.
What
Dude,
if-
I've never failed a class before in my life.
Did
and
you take algebra?
I took not
Did you take psychology, English?
psychology. I mean, psychology is easy, dude.
All
It's
the
like
BS.
pre.
I'm not
Sociology.
asking if it's easy.
Sociology.
But-
I'm just asking if you wasted money taking it again. That's my point.
But
I
I
mean,
would say no because
And it kind of leads to the
I don't know.
to reforming K through 12.
I do
K
think
through
there's
12,
I do
just
think
be
there's
ready.
ridiculous classes in college that you have to take.
what if, what,
Definitely
if,
a high school
anyone,
repeat.
anyone can say that.
what if you had Down syndrome?
I'd be happier
Des-
for sure.
As long as your balloon doesn't pop.
So then you don't agree that the freshman and sophomore years is a repeat of high school?
No, I would
I think
Because
at
you
I
went
think
to
at a JC
Ohio
level
State,
it is.
not Michigan State.
You also went to a completely different
No.
environment than you had K through 12.
It
what,
was.
what if we reformed K through 12 to whatever that looks like? We don't need to argue that anymore. And then there was kind of a 2-year gap time where the government paid you minimum wage. So instead of all these people going into $100,000 in debt or whatever it is, which is eventually going to be a burden on our society. I think that bubble's coming in.
Talking about
that bubble's coming.
It's
quick.
coming.
And it's
I
going
I
to
hope
be
it. I kind of hope it does. 'cause I'm
and
gonna
it's
pay
going to
for it.
be real bad. Okay, so you get paid minimum wage, 40 hours a week, and you go explore. Okay,
I'm not okay
no
with that.
pressure. Hey, if you want to go smoke weed the whole time, you do that. If you actually
Not
want to
okay
go
with
make
that.
yourself better, go do that.
You're getting rid of all government programs. You're not fucking doing that.
I'm talking about this one, not that one.
He's just saying.
No, but I'm saying that's not a viable.
It's an option.
It's not.
I think
Alright,
we all
I
agree
guess
that
I'm
K
just
through
not
12 needs
clear.
be
I want to make
reformed.
one point. I don't feel like I made it. What college did for me was telling me how, first and foremost, it taught me 2 lessons: how to adapt and adjust. I went in there
Agreed.
being one of the top 50 people out of 1,000 people that graduated with me. I was one of the smartest guys on the planet.
Realize you're stupid.
And I go in there, I was a big fish in a small pond. I go to a big pond, and I'm a small fish. You get humbled real fucking quick. So that's what I went through. I go, all right, this is what I want to do. Okay, I'm not there.
Yeah, but it didn't take 4 years to do that.
It took a year.
Absolutely.
So now I'm
Check.
halfway through your 2 years, and now I got to make a decision on what I want to do the next year. And I pray to God I'm right, because Lord forbid I fail. But that's not my point. You go in being like most kids in college at
I think
a
you're
big
just
university.
social.
You're not done course
not-
correcting,
It's
by
not,
the way.
it's not social. No, it's purely academic.
You're not course correcting.
Purely academic. I went in there going, wow, there are a lot of people that are way smarter than me
Way more prepared.
in this
Asians.
in this specialized field, you know. And I went through that, and I graduated with a sport management degree. Beyond anything else, what college taught me was how to balance above anything. Can you figure out,
Yeah.
as a guy who went into a school thinking he could do something and he couldn't, or realized he couldn't be at the top of the upper echelon, let's call it, let me find something else that I'm really good at. Let me find something else I'm passionate about, this or that. Guess what? When I graduated college, where did I work? Stadium Pizza for about 8 months. No, I graduated with a good degree. Can't find it. But guess what? When I finally got that job where I'm like calling my father every day, dude, I'm getting fired. Like, I don't really know what I'm doing. You know what he told me? He said, they trust you to learn it. That's the key. And guess what?
Yeah.
That's what you do. I feel like that's what college is all about.
Let me
Now, should you spend all that money to do it? No, probably not.
let me fight back a little bit. Okay, a guy like Kyle. Everybody knows Kyle. Smart motherfucker.
Answer my
He
question.
was this smart. Okay, this is just where I come from
the
because
smartest guy that
the-
I know and
okay,
you know.
okay,
Period.
that's fine. Should he be taking sociology?
No.
He has to.
Fine. You learn. Invite him to trivia.
I remember him
Algebra
coming.
one.
I remember him coming.
English 101.
Invite him
Women's
to trivia.
women's studies.
You don't have to take women's studies. That's
He had to
bullshit.
take certain classes
All right,
have
musical
to take
history.
one.
for his whatever he
Women's
had to take.
studies is specialized.
Okay,
class,
well
but
he had to take
yeah.
certain classes, whatever it was.
philosophy.
Yeah, he had to take
American
nonsense.
Studies.
Symbolic
If
logic.
he would have came back and he would have just gone 4 years instead of 6, and I'm not saying he's not a great candidate because he
Yeah,
was a
he-
professional poker player. He played
Yeah,
for
he's
college
the
and shit
outlier.
like that.
He's the outlier.
But I'm just saying, like looking at him, I go, why the fuck is he taking sociology?
You shouldn't be.
They should look at him and go, dude, you're fucking set for this job. You're all set up for this job. Let's get you into every class we can that's going to only get you on your path.
You're also talking about a guy who made more money playing poker online than he
All right.
ever paid in college.
Yeah,
to-
that's
Alright,
true.
alright,
But I
alright.
mean, that's an outlier for sure. And then maybe I am too. And maybe each one of us are.
All right, can I
Yeah.
just say before we get on to the next topic?
Yeah.
Do we all agree there there is some waste in the 4-year
Yes, there is.
university?
There's definitely waste.
There's waste in our
Okay.
total
There's waste.
education.
Okay,
There's waste.
that's kind of the idea.
There's waste.
Our
So-
whole education system.
I think-
Yeah, from high school all the way through college.
is
It should be centralized.
It
Is what
should
you
be,
like.
There
it
needs to
should
be
be
reform.
minimized. And, all right,
But
let's
going
move-
back to Tybo's
let's move on
point,
to another one.
you don't know what you want to start. I get that.
You know,
I understand that.
all right.
I didn't plan on being a pizza guy for the rest of my life.
The
Probably
two,
wouldn't have been.
The two ones that come to mind, I actually have three, and we can vote on what we want to attack. Uncle Bob's legalized prostitution,
Good.
Tybo's universal health care, and when I said eliminate all handouts, including pensions,
That's on mine.
Can we wait for more people to go to sleep before I handle the
We-
prostitution?
we had a few.
No,
This lives forever. UB,
That's good.
so-
I like the healthcare one. I had a question that I wrote down for that.
Yeah, by all means.
All right, so we're
So
on
it's
Tybo's.
it's a
Let me check my
pretty
form.
well-known fact that anybody who has universal healthcare, their healthcare system is not great. I mean, it's a pretty broken system.
Like
so
Canada, for example?
yeah, they're it's a long wait period. It's a long thing going.
What are
This
we
is
on,
the this is what
universal healthcare?
this is
Is
what
that
I
what we're
wrote.
on?
This is what I wrote down. Can I pay more to get better healthcare?
I have no problem with that.
Can I go?
Personally,
Okay. Can I
yeah.
go?
Can we have him explain his universal health care?
I'm good with. This is
Oh,
definition
Bob, you're
of-
putting me in a box, and that's
No.
okay. But what I will say is, before we go into this,
I'm not trying
is-
to put you in a box.
No,
This
it's
is a topic, and I just
no, you're not. Box is the wrong term, but
I'm not trying to back you into
I'll,
anything.
I am not
'cause
well versed
universal
enough
is very
to
broad.
solve this.
Yeah.
My biggest problem, which is why it was my number 5, because I really don't have answers or solutions. The fact that we are the greatest nation in America, or greatest nation in the world, which we all
God, I
agree.
hope
We're the
so.
greatest nation in America too.
Yeah, God damn, can you imagine if we weren't? If we are the greatest nation in the world, how are people dying because they can't get
Big pharma.
health care? And
Well, it's just big
A
business.
lot of moving parts.
It's big.
There's a
business.
lot of moving parts.
It's big business.
There's a lot of moving parts for sure.
and that's the part I understand.
Yeah.
But and I know I'm not splitting the atom with this one, and I'm not going to give you anything that's going to make you walk away and be like, wow, this guy
Yeah.
really understands social reform and healthcare. No,
I don't think anybody really does.
No. But the idea for me as the number 5 is there shouldn't be people dying because they can't afford healthcare.
I agree.
And that's my takeaway.
I
So
agree.
pick away
So-
at it as you will.
I think if you have
That's-
cancer,
is it-
I think if you have cancer and you can't afford the treatment, you should get taken care of.
So let me ask you this: is it a right or a privilege?
Healthcare.
Healthcare.
should be a right.
I
And the
vote. I vote right.
I vote right as well.
In the
vote it's
richest
a right.
in the richest country
Yeah.
in the world, yeah, it should be a right.
I think it's
So
a
in
right.
other words,
anywhere,
paid for?
Anywhere it should be a right.
A right being paid for,
Provided.
provided.
However you want.
provided
to look
as in
at,
free.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. I mean, free's a cost that maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Affordable
okay, let's just
or
let's
free?
let's shrink it down, right? Let's shrink it down.
Affordable.
Let's shrink it down to Temecula, right? If you just shrunk it down and you go, Gary, who comes in here, who gets a burger and everything like that, he can't fucking afford health care. Is everybody else in this town willing to kick in $5 a month? Who's not going to do that?
I'm in.
Who's not going to do that? Are you not going to do that, Bob?
Depends on Gary.
No, I mean, the
Gary's kind of an asshole.
no, okay. The average Joe,
Yeah.
if you
yeah,
will,
Yeah, absolutely.
should everybody as a community come together and take care of Gary? Yes, I agree they should.
Okay, so
Caveat to that. Should we be taking care of people who are not part of this country? Which is the biggest problem we have.
no,
No.
but also
I'll give you a story. This is just a little story for me. I had my child
Take it.
at a very nice Loma Linda hospital, brand
It's just
new.
gonna be up your nose in a second.
Beautiful, beautiful hospital, right? I went in there. It didn't cost me much. It cost me $500 for a ER or whatever, an overnight visit. It cost me $500, right? There was a family across the hall from me who had, I don't know, 7 kids, going on 8
That night,
that night. No,
they had 7 kids.
no.
you know what he meant.
7 kids sitting there, 7
teasing.
kids available to their disposable.
Those are checks.
Okay, so when you have a newborn, you get it to sleep. It's like a fucking win. Like you won the lottery. Like it was the best thing on the planet.
Type and I can't relate.
And then you hear, kids running up and down the hallway, banging on the doors, doing this and that. I remember telling the nurse, "I'm an aggressive dude. You're gonna have to do something about them, or I'm gonna fucking kill them." And the nurse literally told me,
Because sleep meant
the nurse goes, "We can't do anything about it. We can't make them leave. They show up here. We had a scheduled time. We had the whole thing. We did it the whole 9.
What does that have to do with universal health care?
I'm paying for them.
How do you know that?
I am. Somebody's paying for it. It's not going out. It's not going into the ether.
Maybe
That's
the
getting.
parents?
No.
I
It
know.
was.
I'm
It was
playing devil's advocate.
It was
Bro.
specified.
He's
Christ.
profiling.
It was specified that by the nurse
They weren't white, were
they weren't white.
Yeah.
And I don't care that they were white. It makes no difference what color they are. If they would have if I would have ran outside to that door and there was
To be
9 white
honest-
kids running around,
to
I
be
would have
honest, yeah.
executed the 7 of them.
When they're white, I hate them more, to
Yeah.
be honest.
No, and it was just like a thing that why is this okay?
All right, Bob, I really was interested to hear your take on this. Like, why is universal health care like such a quote-unquote socialist ideal? Like, why can't we support the people that are in our country and help one another out? And I agree, that's kind of socialism in itself. Like, I got to give my money to help you. But when someone's hurting, is $5 a month really going to break your back?
No. Human nature falls right in line with that.
That's
I'm not saying I disagree with it. I truly. There just has to be some limits to it. I mean, you got to watch the abuse of it.
Yeah, disability,
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this might be a good time for me to chime in. So universal health care, I'm okay with. But to me, there needs to be a complete overhaul of our healthcare system. And when I view universal healthcare, I look at it as basics, right? Meaning, I think every child that comes into this world, their mom and the child should have good care when that happens. I think everyone should have 2 dental visits a year. I think everyone should have,
Basic health.
checkup
Yeah.
and, certain doctor visits. If someone's obese, I'm not okay with paying for their health care.
so
Unless
it's like a self-imposed type of.
yes, unless it is something that is biologically wrong with them, and I understand that there are certain people that are obese for those reasons.
You're a fucking ableist.
I don't care, but if it's something that is self-imposed, you don't take care of yourself and you get heart disease, you're gonna have to pay for that. And that is what it is. But if a healthy person, however we come up with those metrics, and I'm not saying I have all the answers to that.
No one does.
You couldn't drink any alcohol.
There needs to be. Well, no, I think.
I get your point, though.
There's certain,
That's a good point.
There's
That's a really
certain
good point.
very basic things that we all agree on. If you're obese, overweight, even, if you don't do this and you do this,
You do heroin all day. We shouldn't have to pay for you to go.
If you smoke and you're obese, sorry, we're not paying for your health care. You might still get your dental visits,
Yeah.
but we're not going to pay for your triple bypass surgery.
I was just talking to.
That's where it gets really, really, really.
I was just talking.
Again,
to,
we're not going to split the atom
'Cause,
here,
you know-
but I agree with Rybo.
Yeah.
5%.
If you're going to be a fucking, if you're going to be a gluttonous fat fuck and you just continue
Yeah.
to ignore,
But that's
your
the knock on
ob-
Universal is
your
that you
obvious
get
health
you get
problems?
lazy. You
Again.
don't care about it. You don't take care of yourself because it's all free. You just do what you gotta
So let's
do.
Again.
eliminate
So,
that part.
I mean-
I'll take the 20% out. The 20% that are clearly neglecting
It's
100
probably more
I'm
like
on board.
30
But-
or 40.
I'm on
but-
board.
30,
But
40, whatever you
5%,
wanna call it.
5% of the sick people take up 50% of the medical costs.
Would you say all 5% of those are intentionally neglecting?
Yes.
No, I'm not saying that.
Themselves, yeah.
To me, it doesn't matter. That's a small percentage that takes up a huge percent. It takes
Of the
half
cost, of the
half,
cost,
half
yeah.
percent of the
Yeah.
cost.
If you're fat, I don't feel bad for you at all. For the most part, I'm not saying everyone.
Yeah.
For the most part, that is your choice, and I'm not going to pay for that. But somebody who
Kids.
takes care of themselves pretty well, and I'm not saying you need to be, the pinnacle of health, but you at least respect yourself,
Enough
your
to,
body for that in that world. And you get cancer,
okay
I
with
think we
that.
should take care of that.
I'm okay with that.
I agree.
But that
it-
goes against
that's
human
healthy
nature. Why should I
tribalism.
pay for your health care if you're not taking care of yourself? That's the human nature part of it.
And that's the tough part where I,
It
like
is.
I
You're not-
said,
like you said, you're
I'm
not gonna-
I'm
you're not gonna split
I'm
atom.
not going to
Yeah,
split
you're
the
not
atom
gonna-
here.
yeah.
Like,
Fine.
obviously, I know there are people that are fat because their parents are fat and they had
Again, is it a
no.
right or is it a privilege?
I'm going to go bald in the next 3 years, dude. It's awesome.
Wrong
That's-
with
but
being
that's
fucking
different.
bald. That's,
That's
not
different.
a medical decision.
What are you going?
Fuck is your problem?
That's different than being fat,
What did he
for
say
the
he's
most
doing?
part.
I was
I'm
bald
not
at
saying all of them.
23.
I was making a joke, but
And that's another thing is
But
this is a little bit of
predispositioned
This-
ailments. What are you supposed to do?
that being fat is not
Your
Type
parent-
A.
if
Type
you're-
A.
the being fat
Born
for
with
the
it.
most part is not an ailment. I will say that parents,
parents
that
are poor?
feed their kids bullshit and don't let them or don't encourage them to work out, that's a form of child abuse in my mind.
Yeah, but what if those parents,
So
like
no
they-
kids meals?
No, but hold on, Bob.
Well, and that's
like,
the whole
no,
problem.
I mean-
that's
Hold
a
on,
bigger
hold on,
problem.
hold
And
on,
I
hold
agree
on.
with that
No, I mean
Hold
that's
on.
where it's at.
But should
Like-
we take care of those kids?
If the parents
To a
parents
certain extent, yes.
if
The
the
kids, you
parents-
should. The kids, it's not their fault. They have no choice in the matter.
You should give them the
I
tools.
see kids coming in the
The kid
stadium
is their
at,
fault.
at 10:45 at night and feeding their kids pizza. You should not eat pizza at 10:45
Right, and that's my
at night.
point. That's child abuse.
minimum-
but we should
minimum
give them
wage-
the tools to get in shape.
minimum wage got raised. The only thing I can afford to fucking feed these kids is McDonald's. I can't go anywhere else. Like, I go to Whole Foods. Everything else gets
stay
bumped
home
up.
and cook.
Nah,
and prep
Jeff
for 'em.
Bezos.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know how much a bag of rice costs?
You
Yeah.
think those kids at Whole Foods make
That's just laziness,
how much?
Tybo. Grow a garden. That's cheaper than anything.
That's.
Do you know how much
that's
eggs and
ridiculous.
rice?
You know it's ridiculous. Not everyone in Temecula can have a
Fried rice.
garden.
No, garden is crazy.
That's
okay, so
crazy.
eggs and
No,
rice.
it's not.
Eggs and rice.
Are you
Fried
kidding me,
rice.
dude? I can't even buy a fucking apartment. I mean, I could, but I'd be strapped. But to act like I can grow a garden
that's-
in my
that's a-
You
in,
could grow
in
a
my
nut-
apartment,
You could grow enough lettuce in your apartment to feed you.
so I just got to eat lettuce the rest of my life.
No, and then you go get eggs that are cheap, and you get chicken that's cheap.
I can't.
and
You get a
that's
bag of-
better than a Happy
minimum-
Meal.
Do you know how
minimum
much
wage
a
was
oatmeal
raised.
is?
Do you know how much a Happy Meal is?
Well,
I
if-
don't know because I haven't bought one in a while, but I would
have no
imagine
idea.
$8 to $9 after tax.
I was
No,
trying to
it's
make
not.
a
It's
funny,
expensive.
like,
But
kind of tie
okay, so
between,
oatmeal,
like,
right? Oatmeal. Great source of breakfast. You can buy a fucking.
Oatmeal's good.
You can buy a box of oatmeal,
Oatmeal's dope.
like a
Humble.
box of oatmeal.
You just need hot water.
Yep.
You need
That's
hot water.
free.
That's it. And feed your kids that. You know how much bananas cost? They're cheap, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Bananas and oatmeal, and it's just such an easy thing to fix. But like what we talked about the other day, you and I were texting each other about, kids given the opportunity will make the right choice. Given the wrong opportunity, given the alternative of shit food, they're gonna choose the wrong food.
Because it's natural to them, and they're not.
No, because they're gonna choose the thing that makes them happy.
And
I
they're-
get a happy meal. It's a happy meal for a reason. I get a toy. I get grease-filled shit. They're gonna choose that. That's not on them. We
It's
take
true.
care of all kids. I don't care what universal health. I don't give a shit if you have no money to your name. Your kid's dying. Your kid's getting taken care of in my world. Because that's not that kid's choice.
I agree with that.
Now,
As soon as
are
you
we
get to
leaning towards a universal health care because the cost of health care has just gotten out of whack?
dude, if you go to the ER, right?
And is there a way to control that and
No,
not have to go to
I
universal?
think why people are leaning towards it is because more of the is it a right or a privilege thing.
Social
And
movement.
I personally think that basic health care is a right. Every human on this planet should have basic health care.
Okay,
I
so-
believe if you
alright,
break
so-
if you break your arm, you should be able to go ahead and get your arm fixed.
In the world that we live in, like, there's no reason why that shouldn't be a right.
So then we should go to the government to get fixed. That's basically what you're saying.
Yeah.
No, I'm okay with that.
I'm not saying how we do it is the best, but yeah.
But if you're like a chronic, this goes back to the homeless.
Can't make it. You can't make it conditional.
No, but you have. I mean, you kind of have to. The homeless,
have
the
to.
homeless
You
when it
have
gets
to.
too
You
cold in
can't.
Chicago and they go, "Fuck, man, it's freezing out here. I'm gonna check myself into the hospital, and I get a hot meal and a cot.
That's a problem.
That's a problem.
I'm
It's a problem.
surprised homeless hasn't come up tonight.
No, and that's a
We
big
covered
part of
that.
it.
We
That's a
covered
big
that
part of
last
it
week.
here.
Huh?
We covered that last
No, that's a big part of it here, and you
I
go.
know, that's a good
A hot and a cot costs the taxpayer thousands of dollars for a one night stay, whereas a hot meal costs what, $1?
When you say
And
thousands,
I just took my mom to the
you
doctor
mean
today.
Thousands.
You mean as a whole? It doesn't cost me thousands.
It doesn't
of
cost
dollars.
you thousands, but it costs an ambulance ride for a homeless guy to get there, thousands of dollars.
So those.
Thousands.
Yeah.
I mean,
I guess that could be avoided if it doesn't get to that point. But that's,
how does that? I mean,
how's
that
it
doesn't get
avoided?
avoided though.
homeless people, like for example, Chicago when they were at -40?
Yeah.
You don't think we should have a place for these people to stay
They
as
don't-
opposed to
They
freezing?
don't want to go. The guy had a whole flipping hotel for the tent city.
Not
They
all
all
of them.
refused.
That's
He did
not
that.
all. Not all. That's
No, a lot
The
refused.
majority of them.
A lot refused. It's just like remember when we were
His
talking
first
about the
statement
fire
say a
down here
lot
in
of-
Temecula in the wash. Those people didn't leave because that was their life.
and we talked about this last
No, I
week,
know,
so
but
I
I'm
don't
saying
wanna
like,
get too into
should
it,
we
but-
take care of those people that don't want to take care of themselves?
Taking them to.
No.
No, and again, I don't
I know.
have
Yeah.
the
Internment camp.
finite like.
Yeah, I know.
These
I know
are
what you're
the
saying.
people
Yeah, I
that
know
we
what you're
should
saying.
fucking help.
I know what
and
you're
these
saying.
are, but as a whole, do I think that people should not be allowed to, or be concerned about the fact that, oh my God, I gotta do this or else I'm broke? That
I think the big one that you're getting at
That's
is the
That's jacked up.
family. Like, I shouldn't have to worry if I'm making. God, this is such a this is such a backtrack on what I'm gonna say, but if I'm making minimum wage, trying to support my family as a single parent, should I have to worry about my kid not being taken care of in an event of a tragedy?
no,
You shouldn't have to fucking worry about it.
No,
And
you
that's such a
really
backtrack on what I'm saying, but I don't think that they should.
shouldn't. No,
I
Hey,
think
I'm,
kid- I
I'm
think
okay
kid-
if we can make it all free
I think the kids is the ultimate equalizer
and make
for me.
it quality and make it on time and no unconditional.
and I understand.
Make
Canada,
it a true right.
Canada, you got equal
I'm
health
okay
care.
with it.
You got 6 months to wait.
That's the problem. Yeah,
That's our vets right now is that
8 to 9 months.
our veterans right now are going through universal health.
Let's
And it's a broken system.
Ribo, what handouts do you want to eliminate?
Let me
I'm on there also.
let me say one thing and then we'll go to that.
Yeah,
Let me go pee while you can say one thing.
yeah.
'Cause
So-
I'm on that same board with welfare.
So, can we agree that our country is just poorly run and it's been poorly run for a long, long time?
Sorry, Miss
The
Lee.
only reason why we're so powerful is the resources that we have and how big we are.
I wouldn't say we're poorly run.
We're poorly run.
I'd say it's the way we run it is outdated.
Is that different than poorly run?
Yeah.
Look at every government
I think it's
program.
different.
The DMV, the VA, whatever. Really, pick one. K through 12. They're all disastrous. They're terrible. Every single one.
K through 12 isn't disastrous.
Yes,
it's not,
it is.
It's not great.
It's
Well,
disastrous.
wait, you look at medical, you look at educational.
It's disastrous.
They're all
They're
all
impro-
broken systems.
There's improvements that could definitely
There's
be
definitely
made.
a lot of broken systems.
But we could say that about. I mean,
They're pretty bad.
granted.
We're
I mean,
poorly
I'm
run
going to go back to we're the greatest. We can't be poorly run and be the greatest. I mean, maybe you can.
Well,
That's how
maybe
bad
you
they
can.
are.
Well-
That's how bad the other team is.
So
I'm
just
gonna
we're-
backtrack a little bit. Maybe
We're richer than everybody.
Maybe we're not.
That's why we're okay.
Maybe we're not the best country on the planet.
Rich and
Wait,
wealth.
wait,
is not-
wait. You
Rich
don't.
and wealth don't mean anything.
Maybe we're not. Maybe we are not the best country on the planet, pound for pound.
I think there's a lot of validity to that argument. We are not the most educated. We are not.
Well, that's what we've been born to think that we are the best country on
Yeah,
the planet.
but we have to start with defining wealth.
Okay, how do you want to define it? We're pretty bad all the way around.
Yeah, we're.
It doesn't have anything to do with smart.
I'm not sure your point.
I think that we are unequivocally the most prosperous nation as far as having money, one of the best militaries in the world. Other than that,
Well, that comes down to resources, right? And so
agreed. That's why I
great.
think what you're
Like,
going at.
We have a large amount of land, so we have more people.
Yep.
We have natural resources. We have money. We always have all those things, right?
Technology.
But as far as like being run, X's and O's of like a country being run, I don't know if we're top 5.
That's because we can't get out of our own way.
I don't know if we're top 5.
We can't get out of our own way.
People hold on to amendment, the Second Amendment that was
come on.
founded
No.
200
Jesus.
years
I'm
Okay,
talking,
ago.
let's
I'm
go.
talking about X's and O's.
Is that
of
our
being
go.
segue? We're getting
Let's
into
go.
gun
No,
control.
No, I don't want to get into
I
gun
don't-
control.
into gun
No,
control.
that's fine.
I think we touched
Skip
on
over
that.
prostitution.
I think we
We're-
touched on
we're-
that
we're-
We're
enough.
going to gun control.
We're not doing that.
I'm
I
okay with that.
I think that we're a
I would
pretty,
love to do that with Cameron, but
We've already done
we're-
it.
we
we're
are
good.
a poorly
already done it.
we're a poorly run country.
You already done gun control?
All right, we are coming up on
Well,
3.
him and I have done it.
We're coming up on 3 hours, so I think we need to pick one more to attack.
Whoa.
Yes,
Okay.
Okay.
I totally agree with
What do you
Rocco.
guys want to do?
Can I just touch on my inclusion? We don't have to go there, but I want to touch on it.
Sure, I love it. I'm just gonna keep smelling your dip.
I'm really tired of businesses and schools and institutions getting forced into picking people that aren't necessarily the best qualified just based on that they're trying to meet quotas. That's all I want to say about that. It's not fair.
I don't disagree.
It's not an okay thing. It's maybe it started out as a good thing, maybe it didn't. I don't really know, but I want that to stop. That's why that's my number one.
I agree 100%.
I don't want that to be a thing anymore.
So,
I don't think anyone disagrees with that.
Yeah.
Oh, we might have one.
no.
No, I don't want that
I'm
to be
not
a thing.
disagreeing with
I don't
that.
want to. I don't want that to be a thing anymore. I just wanted to touch on that. I
My-
think that it's unfair.
Okay.
I think it's unfair that the best qualified people are not being admitted to colleges for whatever reason, and I also think that it's if you're a private institution, you should be able to hire whoever the fuck you want.
It's also not only not fair, it hurts the majority. It hurts society to take that approach. Just naturally.
Where you want to go,
So
we can go wherever you want.
The reason I said is Rybo, myself, and Cameron all said legalize drugs,
Yep.
more or less.
Yep.
Now, I don't know.
Yep.
Or Rybo said everything.
Yeah, I
but
said legalize
He
everything.
said murder. He
I
said
would
rape.
kind of like
everything.
to. I'll leave it up to you, Ryan.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know you haven't really had really much of your 5 to go off of. So if that's
Yeah.
one you want to,
Yeah, we can talk about
or-
that.
We
or
talked
something.
about yours.
Yeah,
And
so-
other people's.
We haven't talked about tax reform or
Yeah.
So I'll leave it up to you. Whatever you want to do.
Well, I mean, I want to touch on the everything legal thing. So, everything legal, obviously not everything legal, right? I think the 2 caveats are if you are hurting yourself or other people, it's illegal.
So drugs would be illegal.
No.
Heroin
hurting-
hurts you.
You're hurting
Alcohol
yourself.
hurts you.
That
No.
was my first thought when you said that.
Yeah, that was my thing.
Initial thought. Yeah.
When, and that is a gray area.
I think other people.
A lot of
other people is what you should go after.
a lot of people would say that gambling hurts you, right? And in a lot of ways it may.
It does.
Unless you win.
So I'm not
The next hand.
I think getting. I
I gotta
think
get there.
I think maneuvering through the gray area of that is a little bit of a waste of time. What I will say is that the reason why I think this is that at the end of the day, we should have ultimate freedom as humans, just that. And then, so I did look at some statistics. I don't want to be that guy, but I am going to be. I think the closest that we have to this everything legal idea is, at least that I can think of, is Amsterdam.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, prostitution is legal. Marijuana is legal. As far as I'm concerned, I don't think they, strongly police any other drugs. It's pretty much a free for all. Okay, so I looked up the the likelihood of a crime being committed against you, and that's violent crimes or property crimes, which pretty much covers everything.
Yep.
Murder, rape, all those different things. Okay?
Population.
No, this is just, well, what some statistics do that. I didn't look at one that skewed that way.
It wasn't per capita.
I just looked at one in what?
No, it's per capita. Yeah, yeah.
No. So
One per.
well, I understand what you're thinking. Basically, what I'm saying is, one in 458 is the chances of a violent crime or property crime being committed against you in Amsterdam.
Does Amsterdam have guns?
No.
No guns.
No.
Okay.
Checkmate.
I was
No.
no. I was just asking.
I don't know how much that has to do with
Is
it.
that no gun control or no guns?
I don't
They
think
have no
guns.
guns. In the Netherlands, they have no guns. I know that for a fact because my roommate was Dutch.
That's fucking dope.
But 1 in 458. Okay? So 458 people, one person is going to have a violent crime or a property crime committed against them in Amsterdam. Okay? To give you an
Australia's
idea,
different.
to give you an idea, Los Angeles. Any guesses? One in
100.
1 in 100.
Go ahead, Bob.
1 in
Sure. 100.
I would say 1 in 42.
1 in 30. Okay, so a lot of people would say,
What's considered?
okay, especially a lot that's come out about downtown Los
what's
Angeles the
considered?
past few days. What's considered?
What's
what?
considered a violent crime?
It's rape, murder, assault. Basically.
All legal.
Felony?
No,
That's not what he said. He said
No,
not
I know.
against a person.
I know.
the point is that okay. So then you could argue, okay, well that's downtown LA. Like we all know where that's
Skid
at.
Row.
We're pretty close to it. Okay, so I looked up Temecula, which is where we live.
Safe city.
You would think,
Quote,
white
unquote.
picket fence. 1 in, what do you say?
Probably about Amsterdam. 1 in 400.
So this includes no B&Es, like stuff like that, right? Not
No, that's a
strictly-
property crime.
Yeah. I would say 1 in 160.
No.
1 in 42.
No
I was gonna
fucking
say
way.
50.
Oh man,
Really?
I had
1
my
in
numbers
42.
What
crossed up.
okay, so I would like to see what they're considering that.
It's breaking and entry, it's stealing, it's rape, it's murder, it's assault, it's all those things. Okay, that's mind blowing, right? It blew my
That's
mind.
like the second safest city in America.
Blew my mind. No, it's changed a lot over the past year.
Yeah,
and
Temecula's not as safe as it
that
used
definitely
to be.
ties to our
Yeah.
homeless problem.
Yeah.
Another whole
Yeah.
conversation. The point is that the place that I could think of that has the most like everything's legal idea is
Amsterdam, Netherlands.
basically 300% less likely to have a crime committed against you.
What's the population of Amsterdam?
That has nothing to do with it.
It does.
No, it
Sure.
doesn't.
Has
Not
a
with,
big.
not
it
with that
absolutely
statistic.
Does. It absolutely does.
I think that's ridiculous, man.
Not
all
with
That's-
that-
relative.
That's just a math problem. It's not.
It is
not-
a math
not
problem.
based-
You're
Ryan,
right.
Ryan finish your point because
Okay.
I'm I'm
Okay,
in
so say
total
there's a-
agreement with you.
It's not a
Say
percentage.
Say there's
it's-
100.
hold on,
Say there's
hold on.
100 people, right, in the
but
city.
it's not a
Hold
percentage.
on.
It is.
Sure it is.
Hold
It
on.
No, it's
really
not.
is.
Yeah,
Yes,
hold
it
on,
is.
hold on.
Okay, so say there's 100 people. The chance of there being 10 assholes is a lot higher. Right?
Okay.
Okay, so 1 in 458. If there's only fucking 30,000 people there,
What's the
there's,
population of Netherlands?
I don't know. That's what I
Is
just
it
asked.
higher than 113,000 people?
I don't know.
guarantee it is.
That's not. You guys are. That makes no sense.
It does make sense.
No, it doesn't because it's not
the
a percentage.
chances of there being fucking crazy assholes is going to go up.
Okay, here's my point. If you take 100 people in Amsterdam or you take 100 people in Temecula, let's just call it. This is not what the actual stats are, but 2 people out of the 100 in Amsterdam have a crime committed against them.
Yep.
In Temecula,
It's
it's
1.
30. That has nothing to do with the greater population. It's not a percentage. It's a number.
Okay, so what does that have to do with gun control?
So,
Oh,
Ribo, I'm
You guys are kind of sounding not that smart.
no, Ryan.
No, I understand what you're saying, but it's not. It's
Ryan,
it's
I'm
not
vibing
going to.
with you. My question is, what is?
I think you would have to pick a
I,
closer.
I think you're saying the fact that Amsterdam has figured out this policy to where they are pretty much allowing whatever they want,
Yeah.
other than dangerous crimes like you talked about. Temecula does not offer the same thing, right?
No.
They don't.
What do you mean?
I can buy Coke right now.
Oh, I got what you're saying.
Prostitution's
yeah, okay.
legal on
They
Cam's
don't. They don't
cul-de-sac.
offer. They don't offer the open.
I've been to your house a lot of times. I haven't seen a red light district.
No, I
anything
understand.
close to
Okay,
that.
okay, okay. I see what you're saying there, but there still has to be an account for There has to be a population. There has to be.
But the statistics that I mentioned have nothing to do with population.
They do. They still do.
Tybo.
No,
They still do.
I'm on Ryan's side.
They
like,
still do.
Full.
It's not like a. It's not. This isn't even a society question. This is a simple math.
Okay, so
question.
let's just say it's double.
Yes.
Yeah,
Let's
you're
just say-
right. If you have more people,
Let's just say it's double, right? So there's double the population. It's way more than that. Let's say it's double. You double the chances of there being an asshole.
So you're saying Temecula is bigger than
That's a
Netherlands.
percentage question. And
It might be close.
You
oh
th-
man.
I bet it's
All right,
in the
I'm gonna-
hundreds
I'm gonna
of
Google
thousands. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna Google it.
I don't know how many. I
just
might be
drove-
way off.
I drove by the sign today.
But-
Temecula is 113,000
Okay.
people.
You guys are missing the point. The population has nothing to do with
It does. It does.
For them, it does.
It does.
Go
I'm
back
on
to your
side.
point, 'cause
I'm
I'm
on your
missing the
side.
point. You're
I'm
right.
on your side, Ryan.
It
I'm
really
missing the
does.
point.
This is mind blowing.
The
All right,
the-
re-explain it,
The
'cause I'm
chances
totally
of there
missing
being
it.
an asshole in that population is way less.
Then Temecula.
Okay, but here's the thing.
Because it's less
hold
numbers.
on, hold on, hold on. If you
Netherlands has
oh,
17 million people.
Okay, so less than LA.
Really?
Way less.
17 million people is less than LA?
Yes.
I think
LA's like 3 million, bro.
No.
You want to bet?
Peg it.
Okay. You want to go over under 500,000 on 3 million.
I thought it was 30 million.
30 million for LA.
LA's 30
No,
million?
it's probably
30 million plus Mexicans.
Fucking kidding me?
Okay, here's the
They're
thing.
all Dutch.
Here's the thing. Here's what the stat is. Let me just break down this math, okay? And we'll do LA versus Amsterdam. If you take 1,000 people in Amsterdam, okay?
4 million.
No.
Yeah, as of 2016.
So you take
3,976,322.
We've had open borders. Check 19.
So you have
Just saying.
1,000 people in Amsterdam. Follow this. Listen, Dad. 1,000 people in Amsterdam, or you have 1,000 people in Temecula, or LA.
Okay.
That's the one we're using, or LA. Okay. The chance of a violent crime or
400% less.
or a property crime being committed against you in Amsterdam, within those 1,000 people, is 1 in 458. That doesn't change.
2 in 1,000. Let's just say.
Okay. So
Make
the,
it easy.
So the
Based on
the
population.
same 1,000 people in LA is 1 in 30. It doesn't change. It's not a percentage. It's just a hard number.
There's so many variables though.
No.
There really is so many variables.
He's
guys are
using
missing the
1,000
point.
of this
You're
sample.
missing, guys.
How many are homeless?
He's using 1,000 of this sample, and he's using 1,000 of that.
I understand
sample.
that.
doesn't
I'm almost
change.
as frustrated as
That
Ryan
doesn't-
right
that
now.
So
doesn't
it has
change.
nothing to do with the population.
It does.
Apparently, it's got nothing to do with
Right.
population or the laws of
If you
that
take
certain
1,000
country
people out
enacted.
of one or 1,000 out of this area,
I understand.
Doesn't
Okay,
change.
if you take that, yes, I understand that point.
correct?
I understand that.
Okay, so we at least understand the statistic.
It's a okay.
That gets
I got
to
you.
your point.
The
Do
point.
you?
I understand what you're saying. I do.
Okay.
I do.
Okay, so we're there.
I understand what you're saying, but you still have to take into account variables. There's so many variables.
Absolutely, and that's what I'm discussing. But one of the
How much better is their homeless policy? How much better is their social policy? How much better is their?
What I would say,
all their policies are better.
Cameron,
They're better, right?
Cameron, as
so
a
they don't
third-
have opportunity.
Cameron,
They don't
Cameron,
have
Cameron,
crimes
Cameron,
of opportunity.
Cameron, as a third-party guy, I'd like to hear what his
Yeah, let's hear it.
broad
Yeah,
point is,
I think
Now,
the broad
nip-
point is that it's
because we all agreed.
400% less
we
of
all,
a chance.
We all agreed that we're not splitting the atom here. So I'd like to hear what his broad point is. Just, I'd like to hear it.
Okay,
'Cause I agree
New
with
Zealand, New Zealand, right? What's the population of New Zealand, right? What's their crime rate?
I have no idea.
That guy just went through and fucking mowed
18
down.
million.
Went down and mowed down all those fucking people.
Well,
I
we're
bet theirs is probably around the same as Amsterdam.
Well, we're not going to be able to eliminate crime with any of these things, but
I agree. So you can't take out outliers, and when you add population, you add outliers. You add crazy fucking
No,
people.
He did it per person.
I'm taking the average.
Yes.
like
Okay,
a
so
big
You did it
average.
per person. If you have 18
How many
million,
mass shootings have there been in LA?
a lot more than
How many?
I don't know.
Tell me.
That
Tell
is-
me one.
I don't know. I can't
Tell me a mass shooting that happened in
you're-
LA that happened in New Zealand.
There probably hasn't. It's not.
There's not.
It's not New Zealand, but
Yeah,
it's
it's been
Netherlands.
6 or
but,
more.
Like,
No, I'm not saying the Netherlands. I'm saying New Zealand where it just happened.
But that's an outlier.
Okay.
That's probably
so
one
we're
less-
adding outliers to the list, right? So that's a variable.
No, Cameron. What? I don't understand what you're talking about, bro. Like you're getting so sideways. It's,
No, I'm not. I'm saying with population, you add the variable of
I kind of
mass.
I see what you're saying in a sense.
You're
like,
adding the
that's a violent
chance
crime.
of a violent crime of astronomically adding numbers. You're going to add violent crimes.
So if one guy out of 4 million has a violent crime, what percent is that?
It's way low.
If
But I
wo-
add,
if
but I
one- if-
multiply that times population.
if one-
it goes up.
You're not hearing
Relative.
me, dude. You're talking over me. If one guy in the Netherlands out of 17 million people, what's the percentage on that? It's less, right? Just basic math, right?
Yeah, it's less. But I'm saying
That's what Ribo's
what
saying.
your population.
Ribo is equating those same statistics
It's proportional.
to the population. That's the point.
But that's also not taking into account all the other variables.
Like
Absolutely, and that's a whole nother
guys
conversation.
having assault rifles and shit
Assault
like
rifle
that.
ain't gonna fucking stop anything.
we
There
could
we
get
go.
we could get a lot of
Assault
this.
rifle's not stopping anything.
I'm
Guys,
not trying to.
Guys, we're getting to 3 hours.
I know.
Okay.
What if we end it with this?
I was trying to help you out. Dude.
I appreciate that.
I'm sorry. Dude.
We'll leave it for the viewers to figure it out.
sorry.
How about this? We go around. If you could have one guy or girl as the president of the United States today, who do you pick? Go, Tybo.
Oh god damn it.
Oh shit. Greg Popovich.
Not a bad pick, honestly.
He's probably a lefty.
UB?
Trump.
Oh gosh damn.
Didn't see that one coming.
Elon Musk.
I think I go Musk too.
Elon Musk.
He was on my list.
He's
Yeah.
a loose cannon, man.
And so
Who?
think
Trump?
he
Yeah,
is.
he is. You're right.
Yeah, my guy's really.
Hey, that
Uh,
that was
my guy's
fun.
polished.
All right, boys.
I feel
That
like
was
we could have
fun.
gone another
Yeah, we could have
4
gone
hours.
like 19
but-
hours, but nobody's gonna listen to us anymore.
Dude, we didn't get through half our stuff.
I know.
love this.
All right.
You got a can.
Tune in next week, motherfuckers.
gun reform, take them all away.
Yeah. Good luck. You know who's not taking my guns? Anybody without
Hey,
guns.
you guys,
Good
thanks
luck.
again. Thanks again for the invite.